jumped through hoops there to get over to the Casey Anthony one. I had to redo it. Okay, let me get back. Details I wanted to go to the channel thing. All right, so we left off. We listened to her 3 interviews last night. And now we're going to do Cindy's. And it's going to be a little out of order because Cindy's actually came before Casey's. Because remember, Casey said, is there cameras in this room? Because my mother didn't know there were cameras in this room. And she said, look, I'm all over the media. Okay, so you guys are all here. Hi, Lucky Ducky. Hi, Megan Els. Jen Grill. What, look, it's still welcome you. Welcome, new deputy. Okay. I ended up on Gordon Ramsay. Really, Lucky? It's supposed to redirect you to Casey Anthony. That's weird. Okay. Let me go and get up, get the first part of Cindy Anthony.
Morning, Sandy.
Hey, how are you?
Here, how are you?
Okay, hanging in there, doing the best we can.
That's what we can do right now.
I know, it just gets harder every day.
I can imagine.
Especially when you get phone calls saying that she's in an abandoned warehouse somewhere at gunpoint and there's people, and she's in a box and stuff like that. I mean, it just drives you nuts.
Unfortunately, you're living on that side of it that I can't even sit here and pretend to say I know what you're feeling. It would be an insult to do so. But the Ganguza case and so many others, unfortunately what this does is stirs up the people that are home with nothing else to do.
I know.
And you're getting those same calls.
I know. Coming out of the woodwork right now.
I don't know if Eric's explained exactly what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get a good timeline, we're establishing a good timeline on the dates that she'll be at the home. I understand that he talked to Lee, and you may have given Lee a calendar or something for you guys to fill out.
Lee never gave us a calendar.
Yeah, I gave him 2, and that's if you get a chance to go with him later, even if like today.
Lee has hardly been, I mean, we've had a hard time getting with him. I mean,
Yeah, he's
all
busy.
week long, he's busy.
He came in.
And I'm busy, Gordon's busy, we're all going different directions, and it's just nuts.
Do you want to go on the deck?
In the beginning, we were trying to get together at least twice a day, in the morning and at night, and
With the family.
with the family, just so we could feel focused, feel what everybody's doing, and just kind of, you know, see where everybody's at, because it was very hard.
Thank you, sir.
So much. It was very hard in the beginning. Everybody was on a different page emotionally, you know.
What Lee's getting is a taste of what we kind of get where, and I was talking to Lee about this the other day, because number one, I don't want to be, I know the attorney said some things that, my goal is not to get you to come in here and then go to run down here and ask her questions and I'm going to capture it, and we're going to capture and be able to use against her. And I want to make sure Lee knew that. But Lee sounded like a police officer on the phone. It's like, have you ever been a police officer? And in the investigation that he's doing with his book and everything, if I would have known, if I sat with him the first time I ever met him, which that's what happened, he comes across as a police officer. So the reason I'm saying that is, there's probably a reason you don't get to see him very much anymore now, that once you get on a fact-finding mission like that and it
I know what
consumes
he's
you,
doing.
he's out, he's following
And
what
he's
he's doing.
irritated as heck when we call him about something too, even if he just texts me, wanted to know Brandon's last name.
Well, he just texted me back yesterday, I guess it was.
I don't know it, but I know who does know it, because it's Sean's best friend. So Sean Daly would know it, so if I could, can I call Lee and let him know to call Sean?
Let's do
I'll
what
do that later.
we're
Okay.
You do that
supposed to do here.
on your way out,
Okay.
that probably saves some time.
If you don't mind, I'll just turn this on, we'll just sit here and we'll talk like we normally would, that way I don't have to worry about taking too many notes. If I miss something, I can always go back and refer to
Okay.
this.
Like, you know, I'm on lack of sleep, lack of food.
That's fine.
Can't
I'm
remember,
just gonna,
I can't remember what I did yesterday, so.
I can probably tell what you did yesterday, or at least some part of it.
I know a couple things I did, but not the entire day.
All right, the date right now is August 1st, 2008. The time right now is 09:45. We're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I'm Detective Mellish with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. This is Detective Eric Edwards. It's the Sheriff's Office. We're here with Cindy Anthony, Miss Anthony. And case number is 69208. Cindy, you're aware I just turned on the micro recorder. We're just going to sit here and talk. And the reason for this is so that way I can go back if I miss something or if I have a question about something, I can go back and listen to this. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. One of the purposes that we wanted to invite you here today is that we want to try and, as we've done with several of Casey's friends, is trying to establish a timeline on dates that she was definitely somewhere, dates that she was definitely not where she was supposed to be.
Wait, I'm confused. What date did he just say? What date did that man just say? Did he say August 1st? Because the reason I thought this was before Casey is because she said something about my mother didn't know there were cameras.
Lucy, you want to go
So
outside?
I have to, I'm just going
You
to
wanna go out?
rewind it. I just need to hear what he said for the date. Because if it is August 1st, then excuse me, rewind that and scratch that. This is after the one we saw yesterday with Casey. If he says August 1st, okay?
Did, but not the entire day.
All right, the date right now is August 1st, 2008. The time right now is
Okay, August 1st, 2008. This is after Casey was arrested because that was July 16th. So scratch what I said. This is August 1st, 2008. Hey, Lisa Hobbs. Mom's been in and out of the hospital. She's back in now. Oh, so sorry. Prayers for her. Lisa, save some prayers, everybody, for Lisa's mom.
You're 9:45. We're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I'm Detective Mellish with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. This is Detective Eric Edwards. It's the Sheriff's Office. We're here with Cindy Anthony, Miss Anthony. And case number is 69208. Cindy, you're aware I just turned on the micro recorder. We're just going to sit here and talk. And the reason for this is so that way I can go back if I miss something or if I have a question about something, I can go back and listen to this. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. One of the purposes that we wanted to invite you here today is that we want to try and, as we've done with several of Casey's friends, is trying to establish a timeline on dates that she was definitely somewhere, dates that she was definitely not where she was supposed to be. So Detective Edwards has done a phenomenal job right now in dealing with all friends. So we're hoping that by sitting here, maybe you can fill in some blanks for us.
I'll do my best.
And I have more friends to go. What's going to help me, I'm being asked questions by people that are weeding through. I want to show you something real quick, and just for, not even for anything other than the value of it, for you to understand. Because I know there's a lot of questions you have. Just a couple of days, just 2 days worth of phone records where we need from her phone, where we need to try to find out who those people are, what the communication was referenced to, that much. Now, that being said, we have 3-month window here that we're trying to look at, and then really we could go back to the first of the year. So to try to help narrow down days that we need to tie up manpower on looking at who she was communicating with, if you can tell me from May through,
I'll do my best.
and that's all I can ask for, because it's difficult to remember.
Hold on. Scooter's saying I'm super low when I'm speaking, so let me just check my sound to see if anybody messed around with my sound. Let's see. You're right, Scooter. Somebody lowered me way down. Okay. How's that, Scooter? Is that much better? Thank you. All right, we'll go back to our previous things. Thank you.
What we had for dinner yesterday. I understand that.
And without a reason to specifically remember, I'm not gonna.
Well, I'm looking for birthdays
Okay.
or whatever any kind of family function or a
Okay.
trip anywhere, and we'll start there. And maybe by that we can build off and jog off that. And well, I know after this birthday party, I had her for however.
Yeah.
I had her for however many days. Is there any family birthdays?
Nothing that we celebrated. I mean, I have a brother's birthday, but we didn't do anything because he's out of the area. So.
What day was that?
May 18th.
May 18th?
Yeah, and we didn't do anything for that.
What's his name?
Dan Glacia.
Dan?
I didn't even talk to my brother that day.
Shame on you.
I know.
All right, so Dan's birthday, knowing that that's Dan's birthday, do we know if the Casey and the baby was at the house that day, just from thinking about that?
No, I didn't even, I mean,
No
when you said
conversation.
birthdays, I wasn't even thinking about.
No, that's fine, it's just,
No.
I'm thinking maybe it sparks
It was a,
I didn't call my brother today and she gave a response to you or something like that.
No.
No?
that was a, is that a Sunday?
Yeah.
Most Sundays, Caylee was with us.
Most Sundays?
Almost every Sunday. I can't recall a Sunday until after the 15th that we didn't have Caylee at home.
So you had her,
I
I'm sorry, you had her.
I
but-
would be pretty confident I had her every Sunday in May.
Okay, and you would be the babysitter, or she would be
She
there
would be
and
there.
Casey was there?
Yeah, Casey may or may not have been there. Most Sundays, Casey was off and was with us.
Was with you at the house
Mhm.
most Sundays?
I can't say for the whole day or whatever, but, you know, there's nothing that really sticks out.
Okay. Saturdays, would she be there Saturdays?
Yeah, it's Saturdays. Now, whether or not, Saturday's always in the morning and during the day. Now, once in a great while, George and I might go out on a Saturday evening because he was working, afternoon turns. And he was starting to work on Sundays. So I usually had, we usually just did stuff around the house.
You guys both work during the week, so there's.
Yes.
Okay.
He was off Friday and Saturday as his days off, and then went into work, usually left around 1:30 on Sundays.
On Sundays,
Yeah.
George would work.
Yeah. And I can't remember when that started, because that started somewhere either the end of April or sometime in May, where he was working afternoon shift and then had his Saturday and Sunday, because prior to that, he was working day turn and had Saturday and Sunday off. He'll know more of that. I can't remember when.
That's fine. What did his days off turn into when he went to that rotation? Do you remember? Can you?
It was Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Right, so once in a while, we either went out Friday night after work, after I got done work, and had dinner. It wasn't that often, and
Is your schedule set every day you work
my
the same time?
schedule is Monday through Friday.
What time do you normally work, 9 to 5, 8 to 4?
On Mondays and Tuesdays, I have to be in at work at 8, so I usually leave the house around 7:20, 7:30. And then, I may be home I'm supposed to be off at 5, but it never happens. I'm usually there till 5:30, some days 6. Now on Wednesday and Thursday, I don't have to be there till 8:30, but I usually still get in about 8:10, 8:15 anyway. There's two of us that kind of rotate so that every day that someone doesn't have to be early person or the late person.
So you about leave at 7:30 then, 7:45?
Yeah, and then on Friday, we usually rotated, so that we didn't always have to come in early. I mean, that half-hour difference makes a little bit of difference in the morning.
You help most, I know what it was like this morning trying to get mine ready to go. You normally help feed the baby in the morning, or
No,
the
I
baby's usually
didn't.
sleeping?
Yeah, usually, Caylee was still in bed. Once in a great while, she'd be up in the morning, just before I'd leave, but most of the time, they were still sleeping.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the time you go to work on Friday. 8, 8:30?
I either would do the early or have to be there by 8 or by 8:30, and my
Okay.
routine was still usually get there at least 10, 15 minutes early.
Gotcha. And any days in June any days in June, do you remember taking days off?
Yes, I was off the week of my birthday, which was June 5th. I was off the entire week.
Okay, did you guys go anywhere?
We were
Just-
supposed to go somewhere. We were supposed to visit George's parents, and we didn't end up going.
Okay, so you were off the week of June 5th.
And I watched-
Stayed home.
Yeah, I would babysat Caylee the entire week. Casey was in and out that week.
Is that the only week in June, or the only time in June you took time off? Do you remember?
I was off the 30th of June, because that was my next week's vacation. 30th, July 2nd, all that, and I remember that because that was my parents' anniversary.
So you're off the week. The 30th to July 2nd?
I didn't get that far yet.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out just
Yeah.
go with the weeks
I
off
think
or
the
days off.
second was the that Monday?
Could be Wednesday. I think July 4th was Friday.
I'm talking about June. We're still in June.
Oh, okay, so the
Yeah, he
30th
was
of
still ready
May.
in June. I was telling him the June.
So you were, I'm sorry,
I was off the first week of June.
off the whole first week of June.
Right, because my birthday's the 5th, so that's why I remember I was off that whole week. I don't like to work on my birthday, and I turned 50 this year, so
Okay.
it was a...
And the 30th of,
June,
okay, to July,
that whole week.
okay.
So whatever, July 4th, I guess.
July 1,
July
2,
4th
3,
was-
4,
was
5.
Friday.
I'm off.
Did you guys go anywhere or just stay home?
No, the only, we didn't go anywhere. Again, Casey and I were talking about going to Fort Myers and we didn't because she said she had to work, so I ended up hanging out. She actually didn't come home. She wasn't, she wasn't there. So, I mean, I ended up hanging out. I did yard work, things like that.
What date are we on now? I'm getting confused.
Okay.
June, July.
We're in June, July, the 30th. I was home all week, didn't go anywhere.
I wanna go back to May.
Okay. Well, he's jumping ahead, asking me time off, so.
No, that's fine.
Answer this question.
I would like to lock down, cause you're, I'm on one sheet and that's the only way I can keep all this
Right.
information straight and I apologize to you, brother.
Yeah, I was off that Monday of the Memorial Day.
You were off Monday. Was
The Memorial weekend,
Was the-
Memorial Day, that was a holiday for
Was the
work.
baby with you?
I wanna say, yeah, probably, yes. I don't recall that she wasn't.
Anything that stands out that says yes, she was, and your daughter wasn't home, but you kept the baby, or?
I'd have to start thinking about May. I really don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
Possibly she was there.
actually, I know she was there because I have to find out from Lee because I think we invited Lee over, and Lee may even come over to eat that day. I think we cooked out just briefly before George went to work because I think George had to go to work.
Okay, cookout.
Yeah, either we asked him last minute, I think he may have came over, or if not, George and I just cooked out, but we had Caylee with us.
Okay.
I remember that now.
Let me look at something real quick. All right. Remembering that, George, he
I believe he had to work Memorial Day
okay.
in the afternoon.
Do you remember putting the child to bed that night?
Most nights I, rocked her, even if I didn't put her to bed, I would rock
Help
her
her
and
calm
sing.
down and took the 2-year-old
Oh yeah,
out.
she always liked to sit in my lap and we'd read, or we'd go out last thing before. She'd like to go out and look at the stars and find the moon and stuff like that.
She
so.
had I apologize.
She
I went
doesn't
into the
sleep in
house.
her crib.
Sleeps
She has
in bed
we
with-
haven't, about a year ago, we converted her, crib to a day bed. And rarely would she take a nap on it. It's always in Casey's bed, and that's where she slept every night. We were trying to, every once in a while, let her sleep in her bed. But if she'd wake up and didn't touch Casey or someone, then she'd start crying and then get up and come get Casey anyway. So Casey just decided just to leave her sleep in her. And Casey kind of missed her too anyway, so.
It's a comfort level.
It's a comfort for both of them. They
Sure.
always,
Okay, so we know for sure, Caylee 26th, and most days for certain, the Sundays and the Saturdays.
yeah, that I
in
spent the
May.
day with her, right. I can't say what she did during the week while I was at work.
This week, or any week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what she did during the day while I was at work. Most of the time she was there when I got home. My routine was on my way home from work, whether I was leaving at 5, 5:15, 5:30, 6 o'clock, whatever, I'd dial Casey's cell phone, and her and I would chat, and that would just kind of help me get home. Unwind, I'd find out what Caylee did for the day, what she was doing, and that kind of thing. It was just a routine that we kind of had.
Okay, so now if you weren't on vacation, what Yuri's getting at,
During the day, I wouldn't know what she was doing, if she was home with Caylee or not necessarily.
but the evening,
They were generally home, and we had dinner, and we played with Caylee, gave her her bath and put her down, and that was something that Casey and I both did together. I mean, she might be running the bath while I was finishing up dinner with Caylee or
is
whatever.
there a night in particular that because let's face it, there's a social life there, did she go out on a particular night where you were tasked
There's
to?
a lot of times she said she was working,
Uh-huh.
that I thought she was working. And most of the evenings she was working, and I usually
Most
sat-
evenings.
Well, you
Okay.
know, at some point, it doesn't mean that she was gone the whole night. I mean, sometimes she came in early and sometimes she came in,
What's early?
9, 8, you know.
And what would be late for her, or a normal late for her?
If she came in late, it would be 1, 2. And again, May doesn't stick out. I mean, it might be something that my memory will remember later if I go back and look at my work calendar or something, you know.
Yeah, that's great, because I give
See,
you
I'm
those
not at work,
2
but I mean, I
calendar books,
could.
and if you get
Yeah.
a chance, feel free to use them and jot down
Yeah.
whatever, just, we'll set something
Oh.
else up then, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no pressure on this, we'll make sure there's no pressure.
But I mean, if I could go into work maybe on Monday, look at my work calendar and see what I was doing there that might trigger, you know, something.
Okay,
We're pretty boring people, come home from work and we're homebodies, you know, we don't really go out a lot. You know, George and I go to dinner once in a great while and that's it. I mean,
right,
Our life was Caylee.
and yard work.
Our life was Caylee. We worked out in the yard. George was, if he was out front, you know, washing the cars. If Caylee was napping or with Casey, I'd weed out front, but typically we were in the back. That's why we had it fenced in and we had Kaylee's play area back there if we were outside.
That was your recreational.
That was our
life, the
oasis
pool,
back there.
The sandbox and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Save
made
money
it,
that way.
We made it a place, well, you know what, even before Caylee, we were people that wanted to be at home. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we used to like to go to the beach, and then when we got full, I hadn't been to Cocoa Beach for a long time, you know, we just.
Did she like the beach, the, Caylee?
I never had an opportunity to take Caylee to the beach. I know Casey had taken her a couple times. We had talked about it, we had talked about, you know, going to the beach.
Okay, well, that, we can look at that. One thing she did say was, to friends, and we can remove that now, maybe that's something she's
I
trying to
never
tell
took
us.
Caylee to the beach.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't wanna appear like I'm trying to back
No,
away
no,
from
no,
my
no, that
question.
was some things because, actually I had spoken with Ryan on the 3rd and he thought I had Caylee at the beach that week, and the week that I was off, and I said, no, I haven't been to the beach all week and I haven't seen Caylee all week. So, and then even Jesse called me and told me that the babysitter had, that he said that Casey had told him the babysitter had her at
Right.
the beach. And, I said, I don't know, and, you know, I don't know anything about that because she didn't tell me that the babysitter had her at the beach.
Okay.
So,
Well, that helps, I mean, Dave's
yeah, I've never had her at the beach.
recreation,
George and I went to the beach one time this year. We went to Cocoa Beach, once. I can't remember what day it was, and it was just him and I can't even remember if, I think it was, it had to be probably around May because Casey and Caylee were both still home. So either May or that first week of June. Could have been the first weekend of June. In fact, it might have been that first weekend of June, that, Saturday before my birthday or something like that. You know, that weekend before I, it was either that or the weekend after.
So-
George might remember, I'm pretty sure it was either, it wasn't the weekend of Memorial, so it was either the,
following weekend?
it might have been the following weekend that him and I went to the beach. So that would have been what, the 7th.
So you would've kicked off your vacation,
Going to the beach, then I took, I thought I had taken Caylee to see my dad when it really was the week before, so George and I must have went up, or I must have went up and saw my dad on the 8th.
okay?
And then the following Sunday on Father's Day was when, and I remember clearly now, I didn't even think the 15th was Father's Day, didn't even think about that being Father's Day because George didn't want to celebrate it, Lee was busy. Casey was saying she was off to work, and I think I just gave him something, you know, a Father's Day present, and I think Caylee and I just decided to go up and visit my dad. She hadn't been up there for a couple weeks or so to see him.
Well, let me go down and get some clarification on this then, just for my, so May, we're in May 31st, you and George went to the beach, maybe?
I actually think it was June 7th now.
June 7th, okay, June 7th. So you ended that week's vacation at the beach before you had to go back to work? Because you were off the
Possibly,
first week in June?
possibly.
Okay.
It was either the beginning or the end, that George will remember more than I will. Right now, again, this is all kind of a blur, and I'm tired, so,
Mhm.
but I could probably figure it out.
No stress. No, I mean,
Well, no, I know, I mean,
You and Lee can
these
go over
were
this
dates that
later.
we had to, really put brand in our minds,
Right, well, it just helps us do.
The 15th will be branded in my mind forever,
Right.
the 15th of July. things
Now,
like
when
that
you,
happen.
when you first said the 8th, though, that was just confusion, like you said,
Yeah, well, I knew I had seen my dad that weekend, and I didn't put Father's Day together. I was thinking, I knew I had seen my dad towards the end of my vacation, just before I went back. And.
Well, and then also at the time, just from what Lee's telling me, that conversation, at the time you made that statement, you had other stress factors in your mind, so you know.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
Yeah,
you
that was made on the 15th, right? To
The
Casey and Lee.
What?
When you first went and got her.
Right.
That's when you said.
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
I've
just
seen
said that
her."
because, and I didn't look at a calendar, it just came out. I was thinking it was the Sunday before I went back to work, but it was actually Father's Day, which was very easy to confirm, as you know, without even just a phone call to my mom confirmed it. I mean, my mom has a log of everything. If I talk to her, she writes to my Aunt Mary Lou, so I can probably ask her for her letters, might help.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin Kravitz, one of our detectives, when I had a chance to talk to her, he said she seemed like she had a lot on the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she writes, she's going through a tough time right now. I mean, it's been very stressful for her for the last couple of years anyway. I mean, before my dad had a stroke, she had found out, in fact, it was Caylee's, was it her first birthday? Yeah, she found out she had breast cancer. And then she'd gone through 6 months of treatment, 2 surgeries, 6 months of treatment, finished in December, and my dad had a stroke 2 years ago, and, well, it'll be 2 years
And
now.
he's close to her up there in Mount Dorsey, I think Lee said. That's why they.
She lives a block from the facility.
Okay.
She goes there 3 times a day typically, so that's her routine, so.
She remembered making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because the baby wouldn't eat chili.
Yeah, we had chili that day. I was up there because my dad and I and Caylee spent a long time. I didn't think she'd spend that much time with him because, I mean, usually when we're all there, she wants to walk around, but she actually sat at the table. She read her book. She was coloring with Pop, with Papa, and it was just a nice day.
Going back, that was June then, right?
Yeah, it was June 15th, Father's Day.
On
The day I
this,
shot the video.
this week that you were off, the first week of June, do you remember anything that stands out in your mind?
Caylee and I swam in the pool every day.
Pool every day?
Pool every
You
day.
had her most every day?
I had her every single day. Pool every day. Went shopping a couple days with her. Can't remember which days.
Remember what
no.
stores?
Oh. Grocery store, probably Publix.
What Publix do you normally shop at?
Leave us the newest one by us.
Okay. Can't believe how much that's developed down there.
Yeah, I know.
Publix, Lee Vista,
Gosh.
an unknown date on that, just sometime.
Yeah, I know I would stop at Publix at least once, and I may have taken her, may not have taken her, but I know I went anyway, Publix, just once or twice, but I probably took her in at least for a minute to get something. Didn't do a whole lot. We stayed at home every day, we played a lot, finger painted, just did stuff, watched movies.
Pool,
outside,
sandbox,
pool.
backyard.
Yeah, sandbox not that often.
No.
Once in a great while, maybe, but not every day. Sandbox wasn't an everyday thing, cause it's kind of like a big deal.
Does Caylee used to wear water wings or anything in the pool? Was she-
Caylee has a vest. She has a life vest that zips up and then it has a snap that comes through, and that was, something we always had on her. Before we even went outside, we lotioned her from head to toe, put her swimmers on her, and then put her swimsuit on, and then put the life vest on in the screen porch before we would go outside.
Life vests you normally kept wearing in the house?
It's I know exactly where it's at. It's in the, we have a deck box on our screen porch.
Okay.
It's in there.
And it's still there, right?
Still there. And she also has now that's what I use. Now Casey, if she took Caylee to friends or wherever, she had actually one piece, kind of looks like, scuba diver outfit that has the built-in vest. It's a Dora one. And actually, one of Casey's friends brought that over a weekend or so ago, one of her bathing suits, her Dora swim,
Who brought that over?
Good question. I can picture him. I'm not sure if his name is Chris or what his name is. All the kids got together either last Friday or Saturday at the house after George and I had our video thing. No, wait a minute. It wasn't after the video thing. Yeah, it was after the video thing. So it was either Friday or Saturday. We had already talked to Casey. So it was either Friday night or Saturday night. The kids came over and just all her friends like to come over and talk about things, and we were trying to figure out her her mood and different things like that, and trying to figure out where she might have been and
The
where
25th?
Caylee was. We're talking
Your
July.
meeting?
You guys can figure out what day. I think we went on a Friday. George and I had our video conference with Casey. I think it was a Friday. Thursday or Friday. You helped arrange it the same day we
Friday.
went.
Right.
Yeah. Because we went right after him.
Back to the friend who brought the swimsuit back.
Well, it was either that Friday night or the next night. We had a powwow, and I could call one of the kids, Annie or Corey, and they would know exactly which day they came to the house. And they came. And Ricardo, we had invited Ricardo. This was actually the second time we had gotten together. The first time,
Who brought the swimsuit?
I think his name's Chris. I had never met him before. He's blonde. Don't hold me to Chris. Excuse me, stop scrolling.
That's,
He brought a bag. Casey had left a bag of stuff at his house. And inside the bag was all Caylee stuff. There was an orange swimming suit, the Dora thing. And when Caylee wore that Dora thing, she would wear it typically over a bathing suit or her swimmers.
In the Dora what?
It's a wetsuit that has a
Okay.
built-in life vest. There's a built-in life vest in the front that's sewn in and then on the back. And it had the sleeves and went down to about here on her legs. So it's a one-piece thing that you pulled, that she got
Right.
into. It had a zip in the back that she could climb into.
What else did they bring?
There was a couple swimmers in it and maybe a comb and maybe a couple of little hair things or something.
when was this again? I'm sorry?
Either the day or the day after George and I had that video conference.
Oh, okay, so he brought this stuff in.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. How did Chris know about the meeting at the house? Did you reach out to him? Somebody else?
No, Annie and Corey, which are really good friends of Casey and Sean.
Dowling, Annie Dowling.
Yeah. As long as I've known Amy, I really didn't even know her last
So
name.
Annie and Corey were friends of Chris and brought them over.
Yeah, they brought a lot of the friends over. There's a lot of our friends that came over. Troy and Ricardo came that night. The first powwow we had was after the first candlelight vigil that we had was right that first Sunday after Caylee was missing, or that I reported it on the 15th. So whatever date that Sunday was, what was that, the 20th or something? That was the vigil. That's the first time. The kids were already there.
We're jumping.
Well, I just want to
We're trying
explain why we had that. The
Well,
kids were
I
already,
didn't ask.
the kids were already there at the vigil, and and we sat around and shot the breeze afterwards. And they said, "Look, can we do it again, Mrs. Anthony?" And I said, "Yeah, whenever you guys want." And I said, "You guys
Let's
work
go
it
back.
out."
Let's go back to Chris. He was friends Annie Dowling and Corey.
Corey, Ricardo Morales was there. Troy.
No, but who brought? The reason we mentioned
I don't know
Chris.
who called all these people. I don't know if it was Annie
No,
or
what he's
Corey.
getting at is if we need to find out who that fellow is, and where those close.
Because obviously if
Annie
he's
will
got.
tell you.
Annie?
Annie and Corey
Annie
can
will-
tell you
okay.
exactly who all was
That's what
there.
I'm trying
If you had to
That's what I was
if you had to call,
trying to
if you had to get hold of this guy today, how would you do it?
Go through Annie or Corey.
That's all we need. Yeah,
Annie and Corey set it up.
okay.
They're the ones that wanted to meet again. They were the ones that, I didn't specifically ask. I just told them it would be nice to reach out to Ricardo.
That's the kind of stuff right now, just so you know what we're thinking. Well, there's a bag of baby items. Where were they? That's a place,
Yeah.
the place we need to look into.
Mhm.
So obviously, she's been there.
Well, this person said he had left several messages for you and had been wanting to talk to you the first week, and he had never returned.
I could tell you right now, I've never gotten a message from Chris.
I'm just telling, if Chris is his name, because he said he had called and said,
Well, if you see him, tell him to call again.
I probably won't see him unless they have
Just throwing
another
it out
meeting to
there,
come to the house,
entertain
right?
me,
But
because you see now with everything, all the calls and
Andy
everything
and
you're
Court could tell
getting.
you exactly who brought that bag to me. I want to say
Okay.
his name might be Chris, but Chris may not be. the
Let's
right
go
name.
back to this first week then of June, if
Mhm.
that's okay. Pool, you had the baby, the daughter, Casey was working that whole
She
week?
was in
or-
and out. I saw her every day. I mean, I can't
Okay.
tell you her schedule. There was some times that we spent together too, but it wasn't like we were gonna, we were thinking about going down to Fort Myers, but we didn't end up going because my dad wasn't doing real well again, so I kind of stayed close to home in case, I was gonna go to Fort Myers on Monday, and my mom had called me the week before on that Thursday. I actually went up to Mount Dora on Friday before my vacation and stayed overnight, and then came back on Saturday. Mom said he wasn't feeling very well. So
Spent the night Friday.
so that's why I know now I didn't go to the
29th up
beach.
in Mount Dora?
No.
So
Before my
Friday before your
vacation.
vacation.
Yeah, so that's why now I didn't go to the beach that day, because I slept
You
the
went,
night.
I'm thinking from what
Okay.
I'm thinking you probably went this weekend, the 7th?
Nope, I'll
No?
tell you exactly. My mom will probably remember too. She called me here, told me to pack a bag. He wasn't doing very well. So on Friday after work, I stayed over, and my mom could probably confirm that with her notes to my Aunt Mary Lou. And then the 31st would have been the day before my vacation. I stayed there. That's why I stayed home. We didn't want to go away. I wanted to stay close to the house in case something happened with my dad, that I could go up there real quick. And I told my mom I'd come up, at any time that she needed me, but I had spent the night, and by the time I got up, he was doing better. And I spent the day and then came back home.
So you didn't go to the
Saturday.
beach that
Didn't
weekend
go to the
for
beach
sure?
yeah, and I know I
Okay.
didn't go Sunday because George was working, so it had to be.
The 7th.
Had to be the 7th.
7th and 8th.
7th, and then 8th, I probably visited my dad.
Okay, because that would be in line with Ricardo's account, because Ricardo remembers Casey and Caylee staying with him in that same time frame.
Okay, because Ricardo told us that she stayed with him
No, this as well.
here and here
But this-
and left there.
Right, this.
Well, I was back that night. I'm positive Caylee was with us.
Positive she was there that night?
I'm pretty positive she
How
was
about
with
this
us that
night?
night. Definitely that night, because that was the night before I went back from vacation. And I remember seeing her, because remember I got confused that was the night. I know I saw her that night.
Okay. All right, the second week then, you have this week off.
Mhm.
Second week you go back to work.
Mhm.
Was it the same kind of,
Yeah, normal routine. I mean, I
but
can't remember
we don't know what
specific.
nights she was there?
I mean, I don't recall Caylee being gone over any nights, if any, maybe one. And the only time Casey ever told me, the only place that Caylee would ever stay over was they were crashing at Zanny's. She never told me she was taking her to Ricardo's, never told me she was taking her anywhere else except Zanny's. And typically.
Let me write that down real quick before, I'm sorry.
Anytime Caylee ever stayed away from the house, Casey said she was with Zanny.
Okay.
And it wasn't that often that, maybe a night here or there sporadically, but she always said she was crashing at Zanny's. And that,
Now, let me ask you this, with that being said, and just your interpretation as I'm going through this thing, is that because she knew Mom doesn't want her in some boyfriend's apartment staying overnight?
I don't know. I didn't even
Okay.
know her and Ricardo were an item. I knew that he was a friend. She talked about Ricardo as a good friend. I did not realize that they were boyfriend, girlfriend, but she had spoken of Ricardo.
Because there's one in particular that I want to get to that is a question in my mind. And this kind of feeds into what you're saying then, because it's obvious your daughter, just from talking to her friends so far, had a great deal of loyalty to your desires and when you wanted that child home. And the reason I feel that way is because one of the nights in particular,
Well, I think she should be home in her own bed.
most grandparents and parents do. I agree with you. So Ricardo says that on the 31st of May, that they stayed over there when they went to sleep. But when he woke up, Casey was still there, but the baby was gone. And what Casey told him was, You had called upset because the baby wasn't in her home bed, and she got up, brought the baby home, and then went back to Ricardo's because those are one of the things, bink. It's obvious that there's a chain of command there, and she's trying to adhere to it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm getting at.
I don't remember on the 31st though, because
Was it, well, an incident like that stand out in your mind that she brought the baby home because?
not in the morning,
No.
no.
No, I'm talking
No.
like during the night.
No.
No?
I never called Casey and told her to bring her home
Never.
during the middle of the
Okay.
night, except for the 15th.
The
When I
15th.
told her she's bringing her home. And when she said, no, we'll wait till tomorrow, I said no. No, that doesn't, stand out. Something like that, I would remember.
Okay, I just have to throw it out there. These are the questions that I need to iron out with
No
you.
problem. Can I have this one too? You didn't-
Yeah, those are
Thank
yours.
you.
We can get more.
Some girl went through bottled water like crazy.
We can get more. Okay, thank you. The
You
9th.
need me to refill that first one for you so you can have one?
Here, I can rub it in there. Thank you.
I think I-
Put a Mountain Dew or something?
No, water.
Because I do.
Alright.
Hint.
That's a good guy, okay. Yes, now, I keep referring to this, and I'm almost
okay.
embarrassed about the coloring on it. That's just how my mind works, so
That's all right.
bear with me. The 9th, the week of the 9th, you go back to work, and I'm just trying to look at where I know people say you're absolutely right, Ricardo's, the 9th, he says, they stayed there, and I have to relook at his statement. But I
There
guess-
could have been one or two nights that they said they stayed at Zanny's. Because it seemed like starting in May and June, it was more frequent that they crashed at Zanny's, but not more than 1 or 2 days at a time until after June's, 16th. Then it was a story every day.
Mm.
But up until that, it was no more than 1 or 2 days ever strung together. And it did seem like it was more in May.
She wouldn't call you and say that the baby's at Zanny's staying tonight, but I'm going to Ricardo's. 'Cause that
No,
wouldn't
what she
fly.
would say is, I'm gonna crash it, I'm gonna, Mom, I have to work late. I'm just gonna leave Caylee at Zanny's because I have to get up in the morning and I'm gonna stay at Zanny's. And that way I can go on to work, so she was gonna crash at Zanny's. Casey never came home and left Caylee anywhere else. That would have been a red flag, and she would have known. I would have been irritated as heck and would have made her go back and get her, because you don't leave someone at the babysitter's.
Well, that might play into, and you might not remember it now, but that might play into why she brought her home that night on the 31st.
Yeah, but I never have said that, but
Never?
that's what I would have done.
Okay.
I mean, she knows me well enough that I would have done that, so she might have just figured that one out herself and said that to him.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, it never came up that way, but Casey knew that.
Where are we at for time? I don't want to make you
Okay,
late.
well, I think we're good so far, as long
Okay.
as we're out of here by 11:30, and we
Okay.
got another hour and 10 minutes.
I just don't want
And I
to,
don't mind doing this at all, cause that helps.
it helps us be able to focus on
Well,
dates
see, that's what
instead
we
of.
were kinda doing with the kids, trying to figure out where people
Well, that's
were
why
at.
when I first met with Jesse and we went over his calendar book and I realized that there was more input than just his.
Well, let me tell you, I went day by day with Jesse, and he's got a lot of discrepancies. In fact, I wrote down everything as he was talking to me, and he changed the story 2 and 3 times.
If you have something like that,
I'll bring it in the
please,
next time.
Please.
Because he swore to me it was an 18-minute conversation on June 27th that he had with Casey, that she invited him out to Fusions to cheer him up. He told me it was June 27th. And I was writing it as he's talking, and I said, you're sure June 27th? He goes, absolutely. It was that Friday that we went out. And I says, well, you talked to her for 18 minutes. Did you hear Caylee in the background? Did you talk about Caylee? He goes, yeah, I asked her where she was, and she said she was with the babysitter at the beach. So I have that written down.
Okay.
Well, then, last weekend, I don't know, these, it doesn't even seem like it's 2 weeks, it seems like it's been
You
one day.
see why I have all these calendars?
Right, but, Jesse called George and said, I need to speak with your wife, and he says, well, she's busy. He goes, well, I gotta tell her something, and he goes, well, tell me and I'll pass it. He goes, I got my date wrong, it was the 24th, and, about the day that Casey invited me out. Well, then he's going to the media and saying specifically that conversation, that he heard Casey tell Caylee to get off the table. Now, during the whole time when I was sitting there talking to Jesse that Saturday after all of this happened, when he was in my home, he was sure of all of his, he was sure about everything. I said, now you haven't talked to Caylee or Casey during this whole time frame? Absolutely not. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely not. So that was a big red flag when he changed the story going to the media that he had heard Caylee.
On the 24th?
Yeah, or even that he had even heard Kaylee's voice, because he maintained the whole time that the babysitter had her from what Casey said, and that was not, and he believed all that. So, like I said,
Those are the reasons that,
I have like 7 pages of stuff that I asked him. You know how Lee is doing it? I did the same thing to Jesse, because he was my first person I thought of that had a motive, that could intimidate Casey enough to keep her mouth shut, and that would threaten us, because he's that type of person.
why do you say that?
Because he was in my home every day, and I got to know him, and I got to see his anger and rage, because he took it out on me one day, a couple times, while they were engaged. And from the day Caylee was born, he was in her life, and he has stayed in her life off and on. And Casey doesn't, she gets very, like, stay away from my mom, like that kind of thing. And even if you guys watched our taped interview, I asked her specifically about people. And the only person she said don't talk to, she said stay away from Jesse. And she looked frightened when she said that. So.
Let me ask you something about that incident with anger and rage. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was. George and I, right after Caylee was born, right around November or somewhere around Thanksgiving, we had some issues. And about the first or second week of December, he and I separated for a while. We were separated until June. And this was before Kaylee's first birthday. Caylee was born in August, so this is that, so 2005. It was somewhere after Jesse and Casey had gotten engaged, so it was sometime after January, because they got engaged on New Year's Day. He proposed to her New Year's Eve. And so it had to be maybe, probably.
Was that a happy time for you, or no? About as far as that engagement? I'm just trying to get a feel for why
it was. I could tell Jesse really cared, because he did a paternity test that first week. Jesse's idea to do the paternity test, was very disappointed that Caylee wasn't his, and blah, blah, blah. Jesse didn't want to believe that it was his baby, but I could tell the first night after meeting him, he came back, and I came back up to see Casey and the baby, because we had been there all night long. Jesse had gotten cleaned up. I came back to visit, and they looked like a family. And he was dating someone else at that time. He was over in Tampa dating another person at that time, which I can't remember the girl's name, but Casey said she used to be a nanny, just to let you know that his friend, because at one point Casey said that Jesse's friend could help watch Caylee, and that was
Jesse's new girlfriend used to be a nanny?
Yeah, well, it was actually his old girlfriend, the girl that he was dating. Then he was starting to date Casey, and then he went back to his old girlfriend when Casey and he kind of separated. And this was during, I guess, while Casey was pregnant. She didn't say anything to Jesse until the morning Caylee was born.
So the girl that used to be,
I never met her, don't really know her
was
name.
Jesse's girlfriend before your daughter started dating him, was a nanny? No, you don't know her name?
No, I can't remember her name. Casey had told it to me, but I can't remember it. But Casey said that she babysat, she had babysat, and that she could potentially, even after they broke up, that she could potentially be a babysitter for Caylee. And again, I can't remember the name.
Sorry, I made you jump topics there.
No, that's okay. But the incident was, I'm sorry?
The anger and rage incident.
Okay, the incident, George and I started sometime around maybe February, March, really starting to talk about maybe working things out again. And our anniversary's in March, around March 19th. We spent some time in Fort Myers. I went down there because that's where he was staying. And I know it wasn't on my anniversary, but it was either like a week or so before, a week or so after, but somewhere in March, he had come up and we had gone out to the movies. And when we got back, we saw Jesse's truck outside. And it was after midnight when we got back.
This is March of what year?
2006, because it was before Caylee's first birthday. And we got back inside. Usually they're sitting on the couch watching TV. Well, you know, our house, we come in, they're usually sitting on the couch. When we came in, I heard the TV in Casey's room. We knew Jesse was there, so we walked in the room, and Jesse's in Casey's bed. They're watching TV, and the baby's with them. George was furious, and I said, don't say anything, because at that point it wasn't his house, it was my house. You know, he wasn't the man of the house because he wasn't living there. So I told George, don't worry about it, calm down, I'll take care of it. So I walked him out, and he went on to his hotel. And I came back in, and I told Casey that I said, took her to the kitchen. I told her, I said, I want to talk to you. Took her to the kitchen, and I said, what the hell is he doing in your bed? And she says, well, Mom, we're just watching TV. I said, I understand that, Casey. And they were dressed. It didn't matter. I said, Casey, you know the rules. I said, no boys in your bedroom unless we're home. The door's always open. The door was open, but I said, no one's on your bed. He goes, well, you know, we were just laying there because Caylee. I said, it doesn't matter. You could have put Caylee down in the crib. The rules still apply. Well, he didn't really say anything that night, but Casey went and asked him to leave. The next day, I heard his wrath. He got really upset with me, said that I was wrong, was yelling at me, said I had no right.
Is that your house?
At my house.
So he came back?
Yeah, I had no right to tell him. He heard the things that I told Casey, because I said, get him the hell out of my house. I don't want him in your room. You know, I was upset. And so he, you know, I said, Jesse, it's my house, my rules. I said, you have to respect that. And if you don't respect that, then, you know, we're going to have an issue, because you're not married to my daughter yet. And I said, just because you're engaged or whatever still doesn't change the rules of this house. And I said, you need to respect those. And I mean, he got very angry, a shouting match. And, you know, to the point where I felt very uncomfortable. And that was the first turning point where I thought, this kid is not a good person for my daughter. Because number one, you know, I started seeing, as time went on, he was real good, like I said, when George was there and stuff like that. But as time went on, I mean, he was just there all the time. He was there babysitting Caylee. He'd come in, he'd just lounge around, he'd be in his, you know, he'd just hang out, you know. And I'd come home, and, you know, he'd be there watching Caylee. Casey'd be working, and she was still actually working at Universal at that time. Well, not for Universal, but for Color Vision at that time. She never did work for Universal. It was
Kodak, right?
Kodak and then Color Vision. Color Vision took over when Kodak lost their contract.
Okay, so hold on. I got to put on part 2. Hang on. Oh boy. Here we go.
But anyway,
Let me get clarification on that. So there's times where he was at the home with the baby, but everybody else is gone.
right.
So he's part of the family, really.
Yeah, I mean, he, I wasn't real thrilled with him being in and out of the house by himself. But, you know, that was Casey. You know, a lot of times I thought she was gonna take him over to his mom's house, you know, because once in a great while his mom or his dad would watch Caylee at the house while they were while they were engaged and stuff. Because they still thought that they were gonna be grandparents potentially and things like that. But a lot of times, you know, he'd be there every night, you know, at the house. And
Can I, and this is gonna be, I don't mean to intrude, but was
That's
there
all
a
right.
riff at the time between Jesse and Casey, or you and Jesse, anything like that?
The only
When he
riff-
found out that it wasn't his child? Was there
no,
any-
absolutely not. In fact, that week, you know, it was,
I'm just trying to determine
She
where
had
the
the- yeah.
frustration may have come
right,
from.
no. The frustration between him and I
Yeah.
started that night that he did not respect my wishes, you know, the next day. When
And that's
he,
long after the child's
yeah,
birth?
that was like in May. Up until that, March. Up until that, I mean, it was very, you know, it was a decent relationship. He even came and asked our permission before, and George and I were separated. It was around Christmas time or a couple weeks before Christmas. Asked our permission if he could ask Casey to marry him. And George and I weren't 100%. George always had a little bit of feelings like he wasn't real sure of this kid, but really didn't have an opportunity to spend a lot of time with him. wasn't really a fan of his father, but just kind of, put up with them because potentially, could be related in, some ways an in-law. His dad kind of like a
Setting the foundation for
loudmouth
future
type.
relations.
Yeah, trying to be good, and if this
Uh-huh.
is what Casey wants, this is what you're gonna do. After I saw, him in a different light, and he was always one that would have an opinion, very strong opinion. If you watched a TV show, he'd have opinion about, what they were talking about. Jesse did. And if you didn't agree with him, he'd kind of like, well, you guys are wrong, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Casey and Kate, George and I are kind of, and same way with Lee, we all, if we say our opinion, we all value each other's opinion. No one says, well, you're absolutely wrong, or blah, 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 especially when it's a topic, and it's not factual things or whatever.
Can I ask you while you're on that thought process? Because I know the question keeps coming up about the father, the biological father, maybe from being right there at this, and that was something to get to at the end, but is there any conversation that would help us to identify that person so we can answer those questions?
Well, Casey and George and I actually went to an attorney.
Okay.
And had everything put in legal will and all that stuff in case something ever happened to Caylee
Is that
or
Paul?
Casey. I'm sorry.
Is that Paul?
Paul didn't do it. He sent us to one of his friends that does family law.
Who is that?
I have it in the strong box. I can pull it up. I can't remember his name, but
Did he have like paperwork with the
he has
biological
paperwork of
father's
it.
name?
No, biological father was never documented because it's never on the birth certificate.
Who is that then?
I believe his first name's Eric, and if I heard his last name, I would know it, but I can't remember. It really didn't stand out because from what Casey told me, he had come into town. They were old friends from school. They got together. Eric was going through a tough time. Casey was in between friends, and they just had a one-night stand.
So they were old friends from school?
Yeah.
Like
it's
high
just-
school?
I'm not sure how far back it goes, but she had known him through her high school, and whether or not they went to school, because see, Ryan was one of her best friends, but they didn't go. Yeah, he didn't go to high school with her. He went to Bishop Moore,
Right.
but they went to middle school and elementary school together. But they remained friends.
So Eric wasn't just someone she met. Eric is someone that she went to school with.
Someone that she had known.
This
during
is according to Casey.
This is what she had told me way back when. I mean, this was, when I found out that Jesse wasn't the father, because then I asked,
You
well,
ever
who
meet
else
Eric?
could, no,
Who was
You,
her?
you never met Eric? You never had dinner with him and
Never.
talked over?
no.
Giving up parental rights? You never came by to visit
No.
one night and went to the
He
airport?
lived out of state, from what she
Right.
said, either Tennessee, Kentucky.
But you're saying you
one
never
of the-
met him?
Never met
You
him.
guys never had dinner with him?
Never.
Hmm.
The thing was, by the time Casey realized when she was pregnant that it wasn't Jesse's, because she thought it was Jesse's, then she knew it had to be one other person, so that had to be, this person, Eric. I think his name was Eric.
So what legal paperwork did the attorney draft? If you
What he
don't-
drew up was, in case something happened to Casey, then custody would be given directly to myself and to George.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with
It
custody
had
from
nothing to
Eric?
do with that, but we also talked about all that, though. He asked us, is the father involved? Do you want to drop anything for alimony, anything like that? We said, no, absolutely not, because he's not on the birth certificate. The guy has no claim to Kate. He never.
So he wouldn't
He
have
never
any
saw-
names that you mentioned at the time that you might not remember the last name now?
We may have given it to attorney. He may have it. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that stuff.
That would be wonderful if
I'll
we
pull
could
that up
get
and
that.
see what I have. I have an envelope at the house that has all the paperwork we got from the attorney
Excellent.
for that.
Who, if, let's say tragically something were to happen to you and George and Casey, who was going to be the godparents? Do we know?
You know what? I don't know if we thought that far ahead. I can't remember if we put Lee down or not. We'd have to
Okay.
see. It probably would have been Lee next, if it wouldn't have been.
So we've addressed the issue if something happens to Casey, like almost
Like if,
to come to you. You would have.
yes, I would have custody,
Okay.
and then I had power of attorney at any point if I needed to, like if, anything would happen. Casey wasn't around, I could do whatever I needed.
So if she, heavens forbid, but a lot of kids do it, dropped the ball miserably and wasn't the good mother that some teenagers can. you, or you
That
had the
was-
paperwork drawn up? or
That
something?
wasn't the reason why we did it. We did it in case something happened to her. Plus also, it was also a statement that there was no other legal person that bound themselves to Caylee.
Parallel safety net,
Right.
yep. Gotcha.
And by the time Caylee was born, this Eric person had already been married, from what Casey told me. And Casey states that she has kept in contact with Eric's widow. So she knows his,
Who said this?
Casey told me this, she told me a year or so ago that Eric had contacted her and said that there was a potential possibility that he may be moving to Florida at some point, somewhere up around, I can't remember if she said Gainesville, Jacksonville, somewhere up northern Florida, and wanted to get together with her and see if at some point down the road, not, but when they moved down here, him and his wife, and I guess Caylee has a half brother, I guess his wife and him had a baby, which is younger than Caylee. If they could ever maybe just, be friends, and then down the road eventually develop a relationship so that the kids would kind of know each other and realize that they're half brother and sister. And Casey told me, she told him flat out no. And I told her myself, I said, you might want to entertain that idea, because at some point down the road, Caylee may need to have a half brother, medical reasons or something like that. So, plus, if she ever found out later on that she had a half brother that you said she could never meet, you never know how kids.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I just told her keep an open mind, and she was adamant that no, Mom, I really don't want him in her life. I don't want her getting confused. Blah blah blah. She doesn't know about a daddy. No one ever called daddy.
Did Eric ever try to do the stand-up thing and contact you and say?
No.
Never.
No, it was a
Is
mutual
because
thing.
he was unaware, or because?
No, she states that he was aware right away that they talked about it, but he was already either engaged to be married, and then shortly after was married after Caylee was born.
Just so we don't get too far off track, you said that Casey was in touch with Eric's widow. How was that?
She got in touch with Casey and told her right after Eric died. Annie knows the exact date when Eric passed away.
Does Annie know who Eric is?
No, but Annie remembers getting a phone call from Casey, and I remember getting a phone call from Casey as well, stating that Eric had died in a car accident. I can't remember when it is. I want to say it was this year, somewhere around Casey's birthday in March, but I can't say. It could have been last year around Kaylee's birthday. It was around a major birthday, either Casey's or Kaylee's birthday.
Tell me about the widow. How did the widow get in touch with Casey?
Casey, she said she called, the widow called Casey and told her. And then Casey actually had an obituary, and believe it or not, I remember seeing the obituary and never paid a bit of attention to the kid's name or anything else, because it was almost like actual closure then. It wasn't a big deal to me, because I already knew we had already taken every precaution that someone couldn't step in later on and say, hey, this is my child and I'm going to take him away from Casey.
Where did he die? What state?
Again, either Tennessee or Kentucky, one of the northern states, northern.
So, under the state.
It was not Florida. It was
Last
not,
name.
and it was not Jose Ortiz. I don't know where the heck that name's coming from that's out in the media right now. Jose Ortiz, I never heard that
What's
name
this? I
before.
haven't heard that.
Yeah, yesterday.
I
mean, that's all.
I'll explain to you later. We don't need to go
I don't
over
even
here.
know how that came about. Someone asked who Ortiz.
Sorry about
Jose
that. I don't mean to
Ortiz.
pick a scab that doesn't need to be waste our time.
I don't
Yeah,
even know where
that's-
that came from. I never heard that name in my entire life. So.
Okay.
Does that help?
I don't know how you veered off the date, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
Well, we're starting to talk about Jesse, and then you talked about paternity and things like that.
Yeah, because I wanted to go into if Jesse was ever over here at the house during this time frame that you can recall.
Jesse had not been to our house that I was aware of since they broke up. The last time I knew Jesse was at the house was sometime in June when they broke up. George and I still were not back together again.
June of
2000. Oh gosh, we got back together just before Kaylee's second birthday. No, before Kaylee's first birthday. Before Kaylee's first birthday, so 2006. So they were only engaged about 6 months, so it had to be 2006. That was the last time I saw Jesse at the house. It was sometime in June.
Was there, and forgive me for asking this, but
Or
it
then
might be
again.
relevant later, was there any paperwork for divorce filed between you and George?
Yes, I filed, and then he filed. I actually went down to the clerk of court.
When were those rescinded, or when were those, I guess, voided by you guys, and you guys decided to say, we're not gonna go through this
We
anymore?
never, I don't know if, I think we just left the time lapse. I got served, I think, the 2nd of June, 2nd of, January of 2006. I had gone down to the clerk of courts and picked up all the paperwork, and I actually handed it to him, which you can do without having them served. Well, he took the paperwork that I gave him, took it to an attorney, and had them serve me. Where I was trying to save all this court cost and do all this other stuff, we could have had something done for, what, $400?
But you guys let it lapse, and
Yeah,
So
once
was Jesse there before it lapsed, after, or while this was going on?
Yeah, he was still, I don't think he was there that day. I had actually gone down to Fort Myers to talk to George before I got served, about something, because I had given him the paperwork, and I wanted him to sign
Beginning
it.
of '06 or beginning of '07?
06.
Beginning of
Because we were
06.
back together in 06. Like I said, it was
Okay.
only a few months that we were separated.
Sorry, back to Jesse.
That's okay. This week, I just have questions about from talking to other people. Did George, on the Friday of the 13th, did you guys end up down at ORMC or any other hospital because George had any kind of medical condition?
No,
No hospital visit?
no,
He hasn't had a stroke?
no. That was what Amy told me. No, George has not been in the hospital for a couple of years.
Yeah, because I guess Casey was supposed to go to Jacksonville that day.
That's what Amy told me.
Okay.
To help her pick up her brand new car because her car had gotten totaled. Which is
Right.
funny because Casey told me that Zanny just got a brand new car because her car had gotten totaled.
When did she tell you that?
She told me that, the 3rd week of June. Cause she told me that,
So this is after the 15th.
yep. It was that week after, that Monday after the 15th.
Did you see what happened?
Yeah, she said that they were coming back. This is some of the information that I shared with, the FBI and told them to make sure they shared with you because, all this stuff did not make any sense to me
Well, where did she tell you this happened?
about Amy. This is when she told me that they were in not Jacksonville, Tampa. Let me see the June calendar and I'll tell you the date.
Come on over.
Cause I gave a timeline to, Scott Boland
Uh-huh.
for what Casey told me where she was at, where she said she was at when we would call every day. This is June.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is when. Okay, this is the morning George saw. He last saw them about 10 to 1, just before he went to work. Casey and
Okay.
Caylee leaving like any normal day. She had told me she was going to work, dropping Caylee off at.
What time did you leave that day for work?
Probably 7:15, 7:20, because that was my early day. I had to be at work by 8, so.
Okay.
Okay, I knew they were in bed that day because the door was shut, so my last physical day that I saw them was the 15th, but I knew they were there the 16th.
But just in the stress of the moment on the 15th over here, you said the 8th because you had other things rolling through
I
your
was
head.
thinking it was associated with me going back to work, not associated with Father's Day. You know how you try to trigger something that might remember? Because I
That's
knew I
exactly
had
what
seen
we're
my
trying to
dad.
do.
I had seen my dad, somewhere around there, and I knew I saw my dad on the 8th. Did not realize it was back to back.
Okay. So you pointed at this for some reason.
Yeah, Casey told me starting here that she was crashing at Zanny's. The 16th, she was crashing at the babysitter's. And then it went to Tuesday crashing at Zanny's because she had an early morning again. And then I know, I want to give me time to write. I gotta look at, I still have time. On the 18th, she told me that.
Casey told you.
Casey told me that Zanny and,
Caylee.
Zanny and Caylee and Annabelle. Annabelle was Juliette Lewis's daughter, who was a co-worker. This is what she told me, was a co-worker, that they were gonna stay at Hard Rock, Hotel, because they had some convention that they had to work on.
Okay.
So they stayed at Hard Rock through the 20th.
Zanny and the baby stayed through the 20th.
With both children. Zanny was
Where-
watching both children.
Where'd she stay?
Casey was staying at the hotel too. After her meeting, she would go back to the hotel. And that was till the 20th. And then from the 20th, they moved the conference, she said, to Tampa at a hotel. I think she said the Marriott outside of Busch Gardens.
Was Zanny staying at the Hard Rock too?
Yep, watching the girls.
And Zanny went to Tampa too?
Yep, and,
So who paid for Zanny's room?
Casey said that it was paid for through her work.
Through whose work? Casey's?
Casey's and Juliet's work.
They paid for Zanny's room?
It was Casey's and Juliet's room. Zanny stayed there babysitting
Oh,
girls.
so they stayed through your room plus Zanny's child plus.
Zanny doesn't have a child.
Zanny has no child.
Oh, Juliet's child.
Juliet's child.
Okay.
Zanny was there for the babysitter of the two girls while the two adults went to
Okay.
work. It was the situation.
What they told
she
you.
said. That's what she told me.
Okay.
Now, Casey called me in the morning on Saturday and told me that they were wrapping things up and they would probably be home later that day. But then I got a phone call later that day and said there was one last meeting that they had to go to, so they were gonna come home on Sunday, leave from, Busch Gardens on Sunday, the 22nd.
One last meeting.
Yeah, so they were gonna stay over another night.
Would Casey normally call your phone if you're at work? Like during the week when she's telling you all this? Or would she call
Once-
you at work?
Once in a great while, she may leave me a message at work to call her, but usually she called my cell phone.
Okay, so if she called your work number, it would be to just leave a message or?
Yeah, typically.
Bear with me.
No.
What are your
problem.
numbers?
My work number's 407-629-7992,
629-7.
7992.
Mhm.
It's Gentiva, right?
Yes. And then my cell phone's 407-808-4731.
Okay.
Now, on the 22nd, I talked to her in the morning, she said that, Zanny, actually, I think she said Zanny's roommate, has come in, Raquel, that's right, Raquel was with her. She said Raquel was with her, when they went to Busch Gardens. So that was the 21st. Zanny and her roommate were together.
She called you the 22nd, told you that.
Yeah.
So they were gonna stay at the park for the day?
They
or-
were gonna stay at the park for the day, because Zanny and Raquel had taken, the girls to see the animals at the Busch Gardens and stuff
You ever meet
like that.
Raquel?
No,
You ever meet Juliet?
never met Zanny.
Well, we know that. I was just.
I know,
the
but
other
I'm just
two.
saying, never met them,
What about Jennifer?
no. But she talked about Raquel and Jennifer a long time ago as being Zanny's roommates.
When do they get back?
Well, here's the deal. They ended up staying at the park so that Casey and Juliet could actually enjoy the park too. So all 4 adults and the 2 girls went to the park that day, and then, so they stayed one more night and was on their way back Monday morning on the 23rd.
And where's the accident?
On the 23rd, she said it was they were just getting off. I hadn't heard from Casey all day. She had told me that they were supposed to be home by around noon.
Monday.
Yeah, on Monday. I think at some point I called George and asked if he had heard from Casey or she'd gotten home. I can't remember what time, and he said no. So, I think I left Casey a message or 2 to find out what was going on, because I just wanted to make sure they got back safely. Casey finally called me back, because she didn't call me back all day, and I was a little bit worried and realized she wasn't home. I had a little sick feeling that something wasn't right. So, she finally called me back later, in the evening, probably after 5:30, because I was already leaving work. And she was apologizing. She says, "Mom, I know I should have called you."
This day?
Yeah, that
A
day.
little after 5:30?
Sometime after 5:30, I'm sure, because it was on my way home from work.
On your cell? Okay.
Yeah, it was on my cell phone, I'm pretty positive. At some point she called me back. I know it wasn't at work. She may have tried to call me at work, but
And what she said? What happened?
she told me that they had gotten to, Raquel and Zanny were about 8 cars ahead of her and Juliet and the girls. Casey had her car, Zanny had their car. So Zanny and Raquel were ahead, and somehow there was an accident, and Casey and Juliet witnessed the accident. So they followed the paramedics to the hospital, and I asked her, I said, was it Tampa General? And she said, yeah. So she said they went to Tampa General Hospital. She
They were all at
told-
Tampa General on
Yeah.
the 23rd, sometime
Yes.
after 5:30.
Yeah, well, they were there during, the accident happened in the morning, is what she said. But I found out about it when Casey finally called me back. She apologized to me for not calling her back sooner, but she said they were tied up. She was there in the ER with, with Zanny and Raquel.
So Zanny was treated
That's
for an
what she
injury?
said. Yes,
at
and I
the
think I
Tampa
told you
General?
guys that, to check that out.
Okay, we'll get past that, we'll do it now. I mean, if it was an oversight, we'll just move past.
Yeah, I
Okay.
told someone, if not you, I told Sergeant Allen about it.
All right, well, that's the kind of, that's why we're in here,
Right.
all right? That's pretty significant.
Yeah, she said that, Raquel had a broken arm, and she said that they finally got a hold of Raquel's mom. Raquel's mom was coming from Jacksonville to come down and be with her.
Broken arm, and what kind of injuries did Zanny have?
She said Zanny had a concussion.
Concussion.
And she thought, she had put a call into Zanny and sister, and her sister couldn't bring her, come up that night, so Casey stayed with her. And I was a little upset with Casey, because I told her, I said, well, where's Caylee? I said, where's Caylee? She says, well, Juliet went back to the hotel, because it was, just real close. She said they had barely gotten onto the interstate, and I believe she said they had just gotten on 75. So they went back to the hotel. She was able to get back into the hotel, and she was with the girls. Juliet was watching Annabelle and Kate.
So she stayed over due to the accident on the 23rd, she stayed over in Tampa again on the 24th at a
Right,
hotel.
only she stayed at the hospital with, Casey said she's,
Casey all night at the hospital.
yes. And she had told me, I talked to her the next morning, and she said that, there was potential that Zanny was gonna be released, that Raquel,
Zanny was an overnighter.
yeah,
Overnight?
well, actually, it lasted a little longer, I'll explain.
Okay.
That Raquel's mom was gonna take her, back to, her apartment back in Orlando, Zanny's in Raquel's apartment, and get Raquel seen. And she actually told me that she was gonna be seen at Jewett, where I used to work at. which
Jewett
is-
Orthopedic Clinic?
Yeah,
For a concussion?
no,
Oh, for the
Raquel
broken
for the
arm.
broken shoulder, yeah, broken arm.
Okay.
Broken shoulder, broken arm?
Well, humerus shoulder, upper arm is what she said, so. Anyway, later on that day, they were gonna release Zanny, but she said they had found, Zanny started vomiting. She said Zanny
24th.
started blacking out. She was supposed to go home that day, it didn't, but they kept her overnight because she was starting to vomit and have blackouts. So they were working her up a little bit more, and she said they also found that she had a laceration behind her ear. She was real specific. Laceration behind her ear, and they had to give her some stitches. And then,
She had a cut behind their ear that when
Yeah.
they triaged her, they missed.
I guess,
And a concussion injury.
concussion. Well, it sounded like some concussion if she was vomiting and blacking out. So they kept her overnight. She also started complaining of some difficulty breathing, and she said that she had a fractured rib, and it was pushing on her lung, but didn't puncture the lung.
So Casey was staying in Tampa while
Yes.
Zanny was at the hospital.
Yes.
So she stayed from the 24th to the
Yes,
25th?
she told me that, on Wednesday, over here on the 24th, that the sister had come up, Zanny's sister.
She
had
say her
run-
name?
No. I think her name's Stephanie or something like that.
So, but she arrives the 24th.
Yeah, with Zanny's mom. And Zanny's mom, from what Casey's told me over the last several months, has been, in and out of the hospital, hasn't been real well.
Which hospital?
Never told me, never really asked.
So we don't know if it was Miami or Jacksonville.
I would think it would be local,
Well,
cause
we
she
don't
made
know.
it sound like she was local, that Zanny was checking on her periodically.
So it didn't take,
Like Zanny wasn't leaving the town to go see her.
so it wasn't like it took days and days for her to
Right.
get to the hospital.
So what Casey said, that Zanny's sister and her mom had come up to the hospital that day. They thought she was gonna be released, but when Zanny couldn't be released, her sister took her mom back home because she didn't bring her medicines and stuff, and her sister had other things that she had to do. So that's why Casey said that she came home to pick up Sandy's insurance information. And I thought that was kind of weird. I said, well, that stuff could be told over the phone or fax. And she says, well, the sister didn't know where to look at the apartment.
So Casey stayed from the 24th to the 25th.
But she comes back home to get the insurance paperwork?
She
Sorry,
drove,
Gary, go ahead.
Casey said she drove home on the 25th
Okay.
to get Zanny's insurance paperwork at the apartment. Zanny told her exactly where to go. Casey, she had her key and everything, so she was able to get into the apartment. And I asked her, Zanny's apartment, I asked her, I said, well, why can't Raquel or someone just call it in when they get back? And
Do you know if that's the same apartment that she took me to?
I would assume wherever the Zanny person lives is where she was going to, but I have my suspicions
Please share.
on that. Well, let's go with this before I take you off kilter here.
That's even better.
Let's finish this and then I'll take you.
Yeah,
Let me
okay.
finish
So
this.
you see already that I can jump around and get lost easily.
Yes, and I can
Okay.
jump around and get lost too. I don't want to do that. Train of thought.
Wait, let me finish this one then. She went to the apartment to get the insurance paperwork.
Right, and then she stopped home to grab something, and that's when George saw her.
Oh, at the house.
Yeah,
That was the 25th?
yeah.
You sure about that?
I think it was the 25th.
Was it the same day the report was made to the sheriff's
Because
office?
it was later on that afternoon.
The 25th.
Because George and I had gotten back our, I think we got back that refund check, you know, the stimulus
Mhm.
check. And he and I both had to go to the bank, and he had told me earlier that day that he had made the report about the gas cans.
Mhm.
And that him and I met up at the bank.
Mhm.
And then for some reason, he was gonna go right from the bank to work, and something, he said he had to go back home for something.
So-
And Casey was at the house.
And to make a long story short, with the gas cans, Casey had taken the gas cans earlier, he confronted her, she gave them back. When could she have taken the gas cans then if she had just come to the house?
I have no clue.
And she was in Tampa?
I don't know. But see, George had it, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. The last time he remembers seeing them, we were trying to figure out was maybe mowing the grass
Right.
somewhere, I don't know.
So with Casey being in Tampa for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Well, first I want to just clarify one thing. The report actually said the 24th, so we're off on a day here right now. But that being said, even
Well, it
4
was
days.
either one of the days, yeah.
So she's in Tampa, how could she get the gas cans?
One of the days she said she came home to pick up the gas cans. After George saw them in the car, she had come to get the gas cans. Whatever day she got the gas cans was the day she was coming to pick up Zanny's insurance information. That she came back to the apartment to pick up the insurance information while she was in
Okay.
town.
So we're not really
She
sure
stopped
on
at
the,
the house.
so we're not really sure on the dates.
Well,
that she-
whichever day George made the report.
Right,
That
but
was the day.
what I'm saying, we're not really sure on the dates of Tampa and the accident.
Well,
everything else.
no, it was the same week. I'm sure that George made the report this week.
Right, he made it on the 24th.
Okay, if that's the day, then that's the day she said she came home and got gas cans. But she told me at one point during that time that she had come home to get Zanny's insurance information.
And then she stopped by your house to get what?
She said, well, she was gonna pick up some clothes, and there was a few of her clothes missing.
Okay. What about the clothes that she took for her trip when she left on the 16th? How much, you said initially to me back that night that she didn't take anything except for a regular diaper bag and
Right.
no other baby clothes.
That I saw. Now, again, if George and I are at work, I don't know if she had access to the house during the day. She could have come in at any point and gone into the house. You know, they weren't Tampa here, so at any point she could have.
Didn't you tell me you had asked her about baby clothes and she told you she bought all new clothes?
Yes, for Caylee,
Right.
right.
For
But I
this,
mean-
for this trip?
She
No,
said,
just-
no. I said that Zanny keeps clothes. She said there's always clothes for, Caylee at the babysitters.
I
There's
think-
always
I
extra
think I remember
clothes.
very
But then she
specifically.
said on the weekend that they did go shopping, and Zanny took her shopping and bought more
Because I remember that's
clothes.
one of the things you were worried about because you asked her,
Right, I know, but.
you know, why didn't she take her clothes? And she told you, well, we don't need the clothes. I bought her all new clothes. Because I remember you told me that night.
Right, on the 21st, they bought clothes, but she told me, because I started asking her about Kaylee's clothes here, she says, Mom, Zanny always has extra outfits and clothes and shoes and things like that at her house.
Okay. Well, let's get back to the
Okay.
week then. We're a little bit off on the
This
dates.
is the
but-
first interview that I've ever done with who I'm interviewing standing behind me.
I'm sorry.
I just I'm trying to
Well,
get used to the feeling.
I'm trying to look at the dates, because it's sitting over there, I can't see the calendar.
Okay, I'm
Do
just.
you want me to sit?
Yeah,
I don't wanna intimidate you.
No, you're not intimidating me, I'm just getting
Sorry.
used to a new feeling. It's like a new pair of pants, it takes a while to get used
I'm
to.
gonna put this up here only because I don't want you to walk out without it.
Oh, believe me, I won't walk out without my purse. Women don't leave their purses in their
Okay.
cars or other places.
Sometimes it happens.
Not usually. Bottom line is, one of these days, I always thought it was a Wednesday, but whatever day he filed a report.
Mhm.
But I thought the 24th was a Wednesday too, so, anyway. It ended up being, this is the day that they were coming back from, Tampa.
This day here.
The 27th. I remember that because I got a phone call from Casey, in the afternoon. They were going straight back to work. Juliet and her needed to check in because they had been off all week. They had been communicating with, Tom Frank, her, boss at the event coordinating place, and later that, I thought for sure when I get home that they were gonna be home, but I found out later, she said that Jeff was in town. He was at Hard Rock
Jeff's in
Hotel.
town.
Jeff's in town.
Last
He was-
name?
Hopkins.
Jeff Hopkins.
Did
The
you
one
s-
that introduced her to Zanny.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him or meet him that weekend at all?
No,
You just know he was in town because what Casey said?
she said, yes. And she told me Jeff was in town from the 28th until the 30th. And Casey was excited to see him because, they hadn't seen each other since December, somewhere around there, December the 1st of the year, when he went to Jacksonville. And Jeff's the one that has Zachary.
You're forgiven.
Jeff, 2.5 years ago, and Kate, right about just before Jesse, I'm gonna tell you how Casey introduced Jeff into our life as a person. Casey was still working at Color Vision or Kodak, and I can't remember when the switch went from one
When
company to the other.
the hostile takeover.
Yeah, it wasn't hostile, but I mean, that really did happen, because I remember I spoke to her bosses then, I mean, I talked to her bosses then. But anyway, Jeff was one of the IT guys, and I remember Jesse, she said Jesse was jealous, and Jesse told me he remembers her talking about some person.
Jesse was jealous, or?
Jesse was jealous, they were still engaged then when she first met Jeff.
Mhm.
And Casey and Jeff were friends. Jeff had a child, a son that was almost a year older than Caylee. And he was dating this person, Zanny, at the time. And the same Jeff, okay? Jeff introduced,
There's so many names in my head right now.
I know, I can imagine. Jeff,
I took you off track. I'm
that's all
sorry.
right. So, I mean, anyway, after Jesse and, Casey broke up in June, probably a couple months later, Jeff and Zanny broke up. And Jeff and Casey started seeing each other, and Jeff and Zanny remained friends. Zanny continued to watch his son Zachary, and Jeff encouraged Casey to let Zanny watch Caylee as well. Save money, just do whatever. Zanny was doing it, basically as a friend, and Jeff was taking care of all of that.
So though Jeff
And that happened.
Zanny broke up, she still watched both Casey and Jeff's stuff.
Yeah, they remained friends. Zanny started dating someone else, from what she said. And Zanny became Caylee's main primary babysitter, from what Casey said, probably from October, probably around right after Caylee's first birthday until present time. You know what I'm saying? So this person wasn't made up just a month ago or whatever. But what I'm thinking, I think that Zanny, at this point, was a real person in the beginning. But I think Zanny is now whoever's watching Caylee, in my mind.
Transferred the
The
responsibility.
name, yes. So I think she refers to, I believe,
Do you think we're spinning our wheels looking for a
the
Zanny?
Zanny, I'm not sure. But I have two theories, and I'll share that with you.
Mhm.
I think Zanny could either be Amy or Jesse at this point. We're gonna need another hour after we're done to go into, because I only have 20 minutes.
I'm here for 20 more years.
I know, but
And
we
hopefully
might
it
have
doesn't
to
take
do
that
it.
long.
We might have to do it because, you know, we do have to get to that other thing we have to do.
Okay.
But I
Well,
would
real
sit-
quick then on
like
this-
to
on this
sit
thing.
here and finish telling you all this stuff.
Do we, on this week here, this, like the conference week, do you ever get on the phone? I got you,
That's all right.
sorry. Do you remember, see, this is the thing.
I
getting
talk to
used
her every
interviewing
day.
this way.
I
get you with my
talk to her
pen.
every day.
Every day you talk to the baby? Or
No,
just?
no,
No?
I didn't, I stopped talking to Caylee. The last day I talked to Caylee was the 15th. I did not have a conversation with Caylee after that. And
What time was the last conversation, you remember?
with Casey,
Mm-hmm. No, with Caylee.
sometime on the 15th when we put her to
Okay,
bed.
all right.
Now, George had a conversation with her in the morning, because she was there in the morning, had breakfast, did the normal stuff.
No time here though?
Nope, none at all.
Okay.
And that was, every time her and I would talk, that Caylee wasn't with her or something, you know, there was something going on. That's why I think she's fabricated this whole story, so that she would justify to me why I couldn't talk to Caylee. Because she knew that if it wasn't a reasonable thing, then I would say, where the hell are you? And I'm coming to pick Caylee up,
Mhm.
because something's wrong.
Mhm.
So-
Just like if she doesn't come home with the baby that night, you knew she was staying at her
Right,
boyfriend.
or if she was, and that's why I think she stayed with Tony during this time, because if she called Annie and stayed with her for a month, Annie would say, where the hell's Caylee and why aren't you at home? Or any of her close friends. Tony, I believe, is someone, from what I found out now, is someone she just met very recently. So it wouldn't be a red flag to Tony.
Let me ask this. I understand that, and forgive me for asking, because I've been doing so many things this morning. I understand that you guys have somewhere to be this afternoon,
Yes.
right? How much more time do we have here that you feel comfortable with?
Probably 20 minutes. We'd like
Okay.
to leave at 11:30.
Here's what I like to do. I want to focus on just the days that you saw Caylee. If there are any other days, I don't want to focus.
Nothing.
Okay.
The last day I physically saw her
Okay.
and talked to her was the 15th.
I don't want to focus so much on what she's been telling you, because what I want to do is I want to share some information with you.
Mhm.
Because I feel that what happens is this is like a chalkboard. Your mind's like a chalkboard right now. Everything that's being told you, you're writing down on the chalkboard. But what happens is if what you're writing down on the chalkboard is false, you don't have room for what's actually true.
True,
So
exactly.
what I'm going to do is hopefully help clean some of that chalkboard off
Right.
and provide you with some truth and some factual information that we've confirmed, because then that, in my hope, is going to help you look at this from a different angle.
Right.
Only because my biggest fear is that I don't want you to focus on something that you think is true that
Well, I know
that
none
isn't.
of this is true.
Okay, well,
I mean,
here's.
I know that now it's not true, but at the time I believed it
Sure,
was true.
but here's what I want to kind of focus on. I want to focus on not as much what she's told you, that, you know, like all this, we spent a lot of time on this, but, you know, and apparently you know as well, all this is probably not true. What I'm trying to do is I want to try and show you,
But the
you know,
people she was with may be true.
well, and that's what I want to share with you.
Right.
Okay, because we haven't not only been looking at Zanny, we've been looking at Juliette Lewis, Jeffrey Hopkins, Raquel Farrell, Jennifer Rosa, all these people. We've been researching them extensively.
Juliette Lewis's number is JP's number, who is
Well, hold on a minute.
Ricardo's roommate. I
that's-
mean, these are things
well,
that
hold
are,
on.
we're
That's
finding out now.
that's what I want to share with you.
Mhm.
Are that I want to try and help you differentiate between what's real and existing and what's not. Because I know there's a lot of things that you might think are real right now that we're finding out are absolutely not real, and people as well.
Mhm.
So we're not here to hypothesize on if she says Zanny, she might mean this person, or if she says, or you say this picture was taken at this apartment, but it's this apartment, so we believe one is another. You know, we're not going to focus on that. Okay, I know you know what I'm talking about. That picture you said that was Zanny's apartment, that's Ricardo's apartment,
Right,
and now you're thinking maybe Zanny is Ricardo's something or other.
or Amy.
Okay. Well, there are a lot of things that you've also said that I need clarification on, because if you're out there saying these things, I need to know why you're saying
Well,
these
I'm not
things.
saying them to anybody but authorities.
slide by?
Sure.
But
Absolutely,
anyway,
because I wouldn't
I
do
wanna-
that.
I'll be right back.
I'm not gonna accuse
Okay.
anybody in the public.
Well, here's the thing. There's a couple of things I want to share with you. And I want to show you that we're actually working on this. Contrary to what, if you think that we haven't worked on this, I'm here to tell you, Cindy, from the day, let me finish, let me talk now. I've listened to you talk for a while. I want to be able to share some things with you. I haven't stopped on this. I can tell you right now that about a dozen people are strictly assigned to this, just here. And that doesn't include FDLE or FBI. I know you had to talk to FBI yesterday. I'm sure they told you what their involvement, what their involvement is with this. It was 2 days ago.
Yeah, a couple
So
days
I know they told you what their involvement is in this and what they've been doing to help, right? So you know that this isn't just something that we're kind of passing aside. I haven't worked on anything but this. Every other case I've had, every other person I've had, every other family I've had, I have told, they've been delegated to other people so I can focus on this. And I'm not the only one. John's doing the same thing. He's been focusing on this. All the girls in our missing persons unit, the ones that were at your house, focusing on this. Several other detectives have been pulled from other sections, focusing on this. So we're doing everything possible to try and get answers for you. And here are some of the things I want to share with you. I know that you mentioned Tom Frank, and I actually got an email that was sent to me. It was a forwarded email. Let's see if I can find the forwarded email. And I want to believe it was Lee that actually provided this for us.
Yeah, I gave it to Lee.
Okay.
Because I found it.
Right.
And I told him to give it to you.
Okay. Well, what we did was, obviously we have to follow up on these, and these are very important. So one of the things in this letter was showing that it came from a guy named Tom Frank. Right over here, event director, and his email address. These are great pieces of information that we could use. That person doesn't exist.
Okay.
Never did, never worked for Universal. That is not a valid email address.
Okay.
We've even tried, it doesn't come back. It's not a valid address at all. This person doesn't exist. I also went and I tried to identify some of these other people and saying where they worked. And I remember, I believe it was either Lee or it may even come from yours. I believe it was Lee though. He sent me an email of I guess what you guys had talked about last Friday at the jail, where Juliet Lewis may have worked, where Raquel may have worked. There was saying Raquel worked at TGI Fridays. Juliet Lewis worked at Universal. You even went back to check Casey Anthony at Color Vision, because I know Color Vision took over from Kodak. And what we, a very, very blanket statement, what we found out is Jeff Hopkins, Juliet Lewis, never worked for EIS, Event Imaging Solutions, which is the Kodak company that was taken over by Color Vision. So we know that wasn't true. We did a wage and hour check on Casey to see the last time she actually worked, and it shows the first quarter of 2006, which was with, I think, just as Color Vision took over Kodak. We also checked with Color Vision to verify. Let's see, this is Color Vision. Color Vision, and they say that Casey, Jeffrey, Juliet never worked for the Color Vision. And this is coming from their HR director. So what I'm doing is I'm just sharing info. Give you I want to try and wipe clean some of the stuff that you think may or may not be true.
Well,
Hold on. Raquel Farrell worked TGI Fridays. Contacted TGI. They actually work for Carlson Restaurants owns them. This is the head recruiting specialist. No record of Raquel. The point I want to just bring to you is that the people that she's saying exist don't exist. I can tell you also, and I want to share this with you, is that you're saying that, again, we're pretty much on the same sheet that she's not telling you the truth. She's never been to Tampa over June, July. We know that for a fact. Her cell phone records have never left Orange County area. She's never been to Jacksonville. Okay, so that.
Well, she was at Jacksonville.
June, July.
Yeah, June,
she's never been to
right.
Jacksonville.
Right.
So everything that we've gotten from her, everything that you guys are trying to get from her to help with this, it is still a lie. It's a consistent lie. And the problem that we have is that the more she tries to divert from what we actually need to do, which is find Caylee, the harder it is to find her. And I guess there were some statements made that concern me on TV, is that you said not too long ago on one of the shows that you know who has Caylee, but you don't want to say anything because you want to be absolutely sure before you mention this person's name. That was something that you said on the news. What's that about?
I don't think I've ever said I was sure, because I'm not sure about.
You said you know who has Caylee, but you're not going to say the name until you're absolutely sure. You said that on the news.
I may have said I have my feelings.
No, you said
Well,
you don't
I'd
have
like to
Caylee.
see the show.
Well, who is this person that you say you have your feelings?
Well, my number one suspect has been Jesse all along.
We know that Jesse doesn't have Caylee. Who do you?
You know for a fact.
We
Jesse
know
doesn't.
for a fact Jesse doesn't have Caylee.
Okay.
Who do you think has Caylee?
You know someone that Jesse knows doesn't have Caylee.
I just said, you said Jesse may have Caylee. I'm telling you Jesse does not have Caylee. Who else do you
I
think?
think Jesse knows where Kaylee's at.
Okay. I can tell you for almost a fact that I don't think Jesse knows where
Okay.
Caylee is at.
All right. Then I'm just not sure why he's making up all these, changing his stories.
Well, with all due respect, he's not the only one that's been changing his stories, right? Remember, you had the big thing about the 911 tapes and what you were saying initially, and then you changed your story, right?
What story did I change?
Well, the smell in the car, you're saying it's pizza, making the police come over to the house. You said, I said that just to make them come quicker, whereas that night.
Well, the first
Well,
night.
hold on. It's the same
first
thing
night.
though, you understand that? It's the same thing. And what Jesse says to some people sometimes, and then you're saying he changes his story, that's the same thing that you're doing.
No, I didn't not say that
Cindy.
I heard Caylee's voice, and then turn around and said that I did hear Caylee's voice.
We're not talking about, listen,
You
we're
know,
talking,
listen.
we're talking about the same.
It's not the same thing.
Same.
It's not the same thing, because I can explain exactly
There's-
why
there's-
the
well,
911
let me-
calls were different, each time.
Well, let me ask you another one. Another thing that you mentioned, and you mentioned it several times, and you mentioned it in a couple of programs, is that we let the car sit at the house for 2 days.
It was, well,
You know
I'm
that-
counting
whoa, stop.
Tuesday and
No,
Wednesday.
we, police, let the car sit at the house for 2 days? Is that true?
It was there Tuesday night.
Did we let the car sit there for 2 days?
You guys didn't pick it up.
Did we let it sit there for 2 days?
What do you mean that you let it sit there? We called you the same day we got the car.
Right, and when did I pick it up? When did I send someone to pick it up?
Not that, the next day.
Right, so that's
So
not 2 days.
I'm counting Tuesday
That's-
and Wednesday.
That's less than 24 hours, less than
Okay,
24 hours.
all right.
So these are the things that concern me, because what we're trying to do is, we're not
Okay,
trying to.
I'm thinking 2 days in my mind.
Cindy,
Listen,
what we're trying to do,
I-
listen, please.
I lost my granddaughter, okay?
Caylee, we're looking for your.
I lost my
Please,
granddaughter.
Cindy, we're looking
I'm
for your
in-
granddaughter.
I-
We're looking for your granddaughter. The problem is, listen to me, listen to me. We want to help, okay?
I know.
All we want to do is
Okay,
help, but
then-
Cindy, listen, please. I can't help if you go out there and start changing things.
I'm not
and
changing
adding
anything,
things.
okay?
And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, okay?
All right.
Listen to me,
You
please,
guys
let
were
me.
so good the first 4 days. You guys were so good at coming to the house and everything, and then it stopped. No one came from missing persons, no one came from anything. We're in the
So,
dark.
what-
So
what-
we're a
what-
grieving family,
Listen.
frustrated as heck, because I didn't even care where Casey was at. I still don't care where Casey's at. All I want is Caylee back. Do you understand
But
that?
listen to me, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get us on the same sheet of music.
Well, we
right
should have
now.
been on the same sheet. Remember the first time before I talked to the
Cindy,
media?
I
I
agree.
said,
I agree,
I
but
want to
listen,
know what
listen.
you want me to tell them.
Cindy, you're not listening to me, okay? Please, I've sat here, I've listened to you, we're trying to work with you, but now's the time where I need to tell you, we need to focus. We need to focus on the right thing. We don't need to focus on creating stories, changing testimonies, changing what we said.
I'm not
We
changing
have all.
anything that I've ever said.
We are focusing on trying to find Caylee, that's it. That's all, okay?
And I don't want
But
to keep
listen,
hearing
listen,
from
listen,
people
listen.
that you guys think she's dead, because she's not dead.
Have you ever seen me on the news?
No.
Okay, have you ever seen him on the news?
No.
Okay, we're not out there talking to people. My phone won't stop ringing from every news agency to get me to talk about this. I won't. Do you know why? Because I'm working on finding Caylee.
Oh,
That
now
is-
out of respect for you as well.
Listen,
understand
that's why you don't see me.
All you had to do is send one officer,
Cindy, let me
anybody
talk.
to come
Let
talk
me
to us
talk.
every day.
Cindy, let me talk. I can't. See, right now, I
It
can't
doesn't
even.
have to be you.
Right now, I can't even talk to you. You're not letting me talk to you.
I'm
I'm
listening
watching all
I'm
these
listening
things.
to you. Go
I'm
ahead.
watching all these things that you're doing right now, and it's hurting our case. It's hurting it because people are looking at you, and they're seeing how you're changing these stories, just like you're seeing what Jesse said, and you don't believe him because of it. People are now looking at you and saying the same thing. We don't need that. We need to then look at you and say, this is a strong grandmother who cares about her daughter and who cares about her granddaughter. And not someone who, well, didn't you say this? Well, I meant this. Well, didn't you say this? Well, I meant this. That hurts us. That hurts us because we can't say, listen, I can't stand there in front of a newscast with you and say, everything that you've told so far is the same thing that we have been saying all along. Because I can't say that you changed it. And that's changing the focus from Caylee. Our ultimate goal is to find Caylee. We're going to do everything we can. We've been doing everything we can to find Caylee. I need you on my side.
I want to be on your side. I told you that from day one. Why do you think George and I let you have free reign?
I understand
When we
that.
tried to give you stuff, no one
Cindy,
wanted to
Cindy,
take it.
Cindy,
It
we
just
need to
seemed
be-
like, from our perspective, all it seemed like from day one, you guys were building a case against Casey as a murderer.
We
She's not a
can't.
murderer.
We
One thing I
can't.
know is she loves that
and
child.
we're not disputing that, Kate. Listen to me. One thing you have to understand in what we do, we can't overlook anything. If somebody calls us with something, just like, somebody calls us with a tip, if we don't look into that tip, if we don't follow that tip, there's always going to be a what if. Everything that I've done is because of something that I've seen or noticed or something that we have to work on.
That's all I need was a reassurance from you guys. You guys are following up on it.
And that's what
But you're 2.5 weeks late.
Cindy, we're 6.5 weeks late because.
I understand that, but from
Okay, stop.
perspective.
Listen, we've been following it from the day I first met you. We haven't stopped. We have not stopped. You know that.
I
okay?
know.
And we're still not going to stop. But I can't overlook certain things that exist. I can't.
I know
because
that.
if I say, let's just say right now that you tell me this person has Caylee. If I don't go there and talk to that person, I'm not doing my job. If I don't investigate every aspect of this, I'm not doing my job.
But when I get phone calls, listen to me for 1 second. When I get phone calls day after day after day from people that say, we know we saw your granddaughter. We know we saw your granddaughter. No one's following up. No one's following up. And we give you guys the information and we don't get a call back. What the hell do you think we're supposed to think? No one from your department has called us back. You know damn well I called you the day after, the night of the hearing about Wanda at the airport.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you about all these people coming to you, or me coming to you, bringing your hope up and bringing you down?
I know.
Again? I can't do that. We have gotten over 500 tips.
I know you guys
over
get a lot
500
of tips.
I can't go and tell each one that calls in with a tip. I can't tell them all how we followed up on it.
I know.
You have a full plate. You guys are focusing on...
Someone could have just said for missing persons, we're following up on the OIA airport one. I mean,
everything that
someone
comes
could have
up.
said that.
Cindy, we're following up on everything that comes up. Everything that comes up. And I know the FBI guys told you that we actually sent FBI to this lady's house and looked at her child. And how she could have been mistaken for Caylee, I don't know, because they don't look that similar at all. I think what happens is there's
no tape at the airport.
There isn't, you're right. They tape over that. There is no tape.
Right.
Where you heard that, I don't know. I'm the horse's mouth.
I heard there was no tape.
I'm the horse's mouth. I told you that the first night. Once you hear something, if you don't hear from me, it's not true. All right? And what's happening is that all these people out there, most of them are trying to help, but there are people out there that all they want to do is get involved, period. Whether they actually, have anything or not, all they want to do is get involved, get their name out there, and hopefully get their picture on the news. All right? Wanda was more concerned about getting her face on the news in hopes that people would recognize her, rather than I'm letting
really?
you.
Because Wanda did. I never told her name to anybody but you. I didn't even give it to Jose till last Friday.
I'm letting you know these things, okay? These people are more interested in getting their 15 minutes of fame than helping you.
Why would she involve her 14-year-old son?
We can't answer that. We can't answer that. But listen, the most important thing right now, and again, I didn't mean to interrupt Eric.
No, I know.
And I understand this is a very important thing. But what I feel is the most important right now, I'm sorry.
It's manhandling me, look at that.
I'm sorry.
No,
What I feel is most important right now is that we have to get on the same sheet of music. We have to work together. And by working together, I need you to stop trying to, and I understand what you want to do is go out there and look for Caylee, but people are starting to focus their wrong attention on Casey and you because of certain, and listen, these people are professionals. They're going to paint you in a corner.
The
They're going
last
to
2
try.
days since I met with the FBI, I have been telling them that you guys are doing your job. I've been saying that.
And the news is going to try to twist everything in order to get the ratings.
Well, and
They're
I've
gonna
been
try and
challenging them to do responsible reporting and quit it.
You can't do that.
Wow.
Because you know as well as I.
But
they'll
you
say,
know,
oh, sure.
you know
And
damn
then
well
they'll report
missing
something
children
else.
don't get media attention after 2 or 3 days. They don't. You have to keep her picture out there so that she can be found. You know that.
I know
you
that.
look at all
But
these
Cindy,
missing children,
what
and they
we're-
don't have anybody out there
But
looking
what
for them.
we're doing is, unfortunately, what you're sometimes doing is you're pulling the attention off. This is a missing, looking for Caylee, but they're not focusing on Caylee. They're focusing on you.
I don't want them.
They're focusing on Casey because of all this crap that's coming out, all these pictures that are coming out. I can't control all
2 or 3
this.
years ago.
I can't control all this. But because the media's eating this up, what we need to do is we need to keep the media focused on Caylee. We do not talk about Casey, okay? And if they ask you anything, well, what about this, say, we're looking for Caylee now, period.
Right.
I'm not here to talk about anything I've talked about before.
Well, that's what
We're
I'm
looking
trying to
for
tell
Caylee
them.
now.
I don't like to answer questions about her.
But when you go on Larry King and they put you on the spot, it forces you to say something because obviously you don't want to look bad. And unfortunately, they're professionals at this. They're gonna paint you into a corner.
They're trained to get a
Well,
response
the
out of it.
unfortunate thing is Larry King assured me that I was gonna get time to talk about the efforts we're doing for it. Does that get you in on that?
And did they?
Oh, of course.
They gave you all the time you wanted to talk about what you guys were doing.
No, they didn't.
So you see how that works?
They pick and choose little portions of what you
Oh, I
say.
know, and that's what the local media does too, and that's what I said, if they show the whole darn thing, then, you know, things would be painted
So
right.
if people are sitting in their house interested to see how they zing you next, that could be out looking for the baby, you
Well-
see what we're trying to say is there's a lot of
Oh, I
negative time
understand.
getting
That's
spent.
what I keep telling them, that positive.
We need to focus on forward. We need to stop
I know.
asking stuff about that's already happened.
We've been
focus on
asking
forward.
for you guys to meet with us. We have, for a while.
It's-
Lee
it's-
even said he talked to you
I've
last weekend.
I've talked to Lee a lot.
I know,
I've
but
talked to
George and
a
I,
lot.
but you know what, you guys think I'm some freaking lunatic. I'm not, I'm a grieving grandma that's
We're
looking.
not saying anything.
But you
like
and
that.
John quit calling me, quit talking to me.
You know why? Because right after that bond hearing, even before the bond hearing, your relationship with us became adversarial. Because listen.
You blew
because
it that morning, honey, when you threatened to send a police car to
Send
my dad. You know why I was protecting him.
Information that we need immediately.
But I called Carrie back within a few minutes, or you knew that.
We have to
And
do
to have the
a job.
and to have the prosecutor state that I would be uncooperative.
We have to do a job. And listen, I've asked you for your credit card records. I asked you for that same morning. Where are they?
There's nothing on there, I already looked at them.
Okay. See, that's the answer I can't have because I know that she has your JCPenney card. I know that she went all over the place with your JCPenney
I
card.
gave Lee my
You have
JCPenney
to give it to us.
statement
You
to
have
give
it
to
us.
you.
You have to give it to us.
He said that he was the
Listen,
go-between.
listen.
I know.
This is stuff we need. You can't hold it back because this is how we do our investigation. Now, your personal credit card.
But you guys didn't want the
listen.
receipts for the JCPenney
That's
card.
because we get a different way.
Okay.
Okay? We need to have the whole thing. The receipts, you get to give me a handful of receipts, but I don't know if they're the whole thing. I need to have your statement. Okay? So, what other credit cards do you have that she's used? What are the companies? Because we know JCPenney. What about your bank card?
No, she didn't have either of my bank cards.
Which bank do you have a card at?
Bank of America.
Bank of America and what else?
Bank of America.
Just Bank of America. Is it a Visa or MasterCard?
It's a Visa debit card.
Okay, is that the only other credit card
Yes.
that you have out there aside from JCPenney?
Yes.
You don't have a Dillard's or a Circuit City
No.
or a Best Buy, nothing like that?
No.
Okay.
Target, Walmart.
No, I haven't had a Target, I had a Target card years ago, but I let it
Where's the
expire.
JCPenney card that she was using? I know you took it out of her wallet that
I
night.
have it at home.
Okay.
I
So
have it at home. I took
you
it
still
out of
have
the
it at
wallet that
home.
night and then.
What about the $200 that was in her wallet that night?
I took it.
Why didn't you tell us anything about it?
I told them. The
Told
girls,
who'd you tell? You didn't tell me. Who'd you tell?
whatever female officer was with us that night, I can't remember her name, when Lee brought back all the stuff, we dumped all the stuff out in the middle of the floor, I showed her all of it.
Okay. Unless
I showed
you
her-
told me, I don't know about
I
that.
showed her the credit,
Okay.
but I told you there was a handful of receipts,
Mhm.
cause all the sheriff's
Right.
guys that were out there before were looking at all of them, cause I said, well, we could find times off of these, the times of those. I had those. I offered those up several times and no one wanted them, but I told
And I
her,
explained to you why we didn't want the receipt.
but I said, I'm taking back my credit cards and I said, I'm taking back this money.
Now,
And she,
one more question.
knew that I had it, so whichever female officer was out there that night,
One more question I want to ask you. I want to ask you this. Hopefully, if you can give me an answer. If not, I just want you to think about this. Okay. I know that after the gas can incident, please bear with me. Let me finish. After the gas can incident, Casey borrowed your truck, your green truck.
I'm not aware of that.
George actually saw her, I guess.
He never
maybe
told me that.
Driving down the 408 and asked you, and you said that Casey had borrowed your truck.
I would not have let Casey borrow the truck after the gas can incident.
And would have been like the 25th, because listen.
You know why I wouldn't, no, let me
There's a
tell you
reason,
why
there's a
I
reason, there's a
didn't give her
reason.
permission is because if.
But did she borrow your truck?
I don't know. How could she have borrowed my truck if I had it?
That's what I'm asking. The green truck that you drive, the green SUV, is that the one
The
you drive to
4Runner,
work?
that's the one I drive to work. If I had thought that she had my car anytime during this time, then I would have.
So you're saying that never happened?
Not that I'm
The
aware of.
Well, the reason I want to tell you this is that she started calling people and telling people on the 25th? On the 25th, she's sending text messages to her friends saying that George drove her car, the white one. Listen to me. I'm telling you what we're getting, okay?
That's
That
conversations over the phone.
George drove her white car and may have hit something and killed it because the car was starting to stink.
She said there was a squirrel.
And she started telling these stories from the 25th on. Why? I just want to plant the seed, okay? You don't have to answer me. Why would you do that?
I have no idea.
Why would you try and pass off the smell? Because we all know that there was a smell in the car. I'm not here to dispute what the smell was, okay? We all know there was a very bad smell in the car. Why would she start to say to her friends and text message? We have text message. Why would you want to say, "Hey, I think my dad, hit something with the car," and then later on, let's say, "Yeah, it looks like my dad hit something with the car, and the car stinks."
I have no idea.
And
I have no idea.
I wanted to share that with you.
I have no idea.
He's got
And these are the kinds of questions that we have, because this was on the 27th, the text that she sends out. So we look, because listen, if your granddaughter walks through that door right now, we will all tuck our tails between our legs and be glad to do it, okay? But these are the kind of things that we as the profession have to look into and ask the question, why? You read that, correct? So that's, in the squirrel thing, we need to look and see, is that there?
Amy told me that she said something when I was driving Amy from the Florida Mall to the house. Amy offered up something about squirrels in her car. That was the first time.
What was your response to Amy? Did you guys discuss the smell of the car or anything? Not that it really amounts to anything.
Not that I recall, not that I recall talking about that. My main focus when I got Amy was
Because I know
telling me where
when Lee beat you back to the house that day, he said, "Oh my goodness," when he went in the garage.
Oh yeah, you could tell.
Ooh.
As soon as we got home, we aired it out. But see, the thing of it was, when George opened the trunk, the guy was with him. That bag, the pizza was in the bag, and it was all closed up. And when he opened because he had to open the bag to see what was in the bag, there was maggots and that pizza in there, and it was bad. I mean, it was really bad.
I'm not gonna sit here and split hairs about that. And
Well,
you
the
deserve
bottom-
better than me doing that.
Bottom line is, though,
With you saying that in this
but
conversation.
think of it though, if the car was there from the 27th, and this is fact, because Am Scott reported the car on the 27th, and what day, on the 30th, or it was reported one of these 2 days, I don't know. And then Am Scott, it got towed here. That had to have been closed up in that car for 19 days at least, that bag of stuff.
At least,
At least through till the 15th when we picked up the car. Because if it was abandoned here,
We're not gonna dispute that the
Right.
car was dropped off on the 27th,
And there was
because
pizza.
we've already talked there.
No, but I'm just
We already
saying,
talked there.
you
But listen, we can't dispute the smell with you. I can only tell you that in the over 12 years I've been doing this, you know what I did before coming to missing persons, because that came out in the trial. Okay, I can only tell you what I have sensed before. I know you as a nurse, you've been to the morgue before.
I've smelled
Okay.
dead flesh, I've
I'm-
smelled dead
I'm-
bodies,
I'm not-
I've smelled burnt bodies.
And we're not gonna go back and forth with this. I'm just gonna know, we're gonna agree to disagree with this, okay? But what you also need to remember, there are different aspects of this that we need to pay attention to. We're focusing on finding Caylee. I will not come to you and tell you anything but that unless I have definitive proof.
But are you looking for a
Listen.
live Caylee or a dead Caylee, Gary?
We're looking for Caylee, Cindy, because we don't know where Caylee is. And listen, look at this from the outside. I know it's tough. Okay, pretend this isn't your daughter. Pretend Casey is not your daughter. What would you think happened?
I don't know.
Pretend Casey's not your daughter. All the lies, all the inconsistencies, all the stories, all the evidence, all the facts, all the people that don't exist, what do you in your heart believe?
Not knowing Casey, I would probably think the worst.
Okay.
Not knowing Casey and Casey's relationship with.
Okay. That is the end of that. Now I have the video of the jail. That's what I was getting on queuing up here. The video of the jail call, which is, this was, hold on, let me get this over here. The 25th of July. I don't know that we'll get to finish this tonight because it might be long, so we'll see. This will be before that, what we just saw.
Did they find you guys, Carolyn, for that milk?
No.
We've been watching you for so long. Yeah, I love
That must
you.
have smelled
I love
awful.
you too. Hi.
Yeah.
We've been seeing you sitting down. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was talking with one of the doctors. We forgive anything that you've said or done.
Hold on. Can we turn the volume down? Yeah, you can probably hear it. My head's gonna explode. I haven't said anything. Don't worry.
It is kind of loud.
Yeah. Okay. Is that better?
Casey,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Turn it just a little bit more. Yeah. Okay,
That's good, honey.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I just talked to Lee.
I know. He told us.
Yeah, we got cut off within our last minute, but we at least got a chance to cover a lot of stuff in our hour, so.
It's good.
What's that t-shirt? I didn't get a chance to ask him, other things
Caylee's
besides.
picture's on the back.
Is it? Can Dad
Yes.
show me the shirt?
Yeah, turn around so she can see. It's the Never Lose Hope Foundation. Do you see it?
I can see
Your
part
picture?
of it, yeah.
Have you seen me? And then it has the information on how to contact.
Okay.
Casey, you don't realize the whole United States is looking for our Caylee.
I know that, Mom.
Her cover's going to be on People magazine in a few days.
Okay.
Everybody is looking for her.
Good.
Everybody is looking for her. Are we going to be able to find her, do you think?
I hope we can, Mom. Now, I didn't get a chance to ask Lee.
Can you look up a little bit more? Raise your eyes up a little bit. There you
I
go.
wanna
So
actually-
now, look straight up so I can look into your eyes, darling. Thank you. I need to do that. It's okay to cry, Casey. It's all right, love. We've all been crying. Casey, I want to ask you just a couple questions.
Good.
I know the pictures with Caylee in Zanny's apartment. Is Zanny's apartment the ones with the drums?
She had a drum set, yes.
The one in the picture.
I think there were even other pictures. I told Lee to look through everything.
Okay, is that Zanny's apartment? Because I know whose apartment it is. Is it Zanny's apartment?
That exact apartment, no, that was Ricardo's apartment. It was set up a lot like Zanny's apartment.
Okay. Do we have any pictures of Zanny's
Mom,
apartment?
Lee and I already talked about this. I don't
Okay,
know. It could
all right.
be on the disc at home. I don't know.
What is your, I can't get into your,
I gave Lee everything already. I
All
gave
right.
Lee all of the passwords, everything we could possibly
'Cause I
think
wanna
of
get-
all over again.
I want to get some video clips off Caylee because the video clip with Grandpa is really helping people.
Okay.
Still pictures don't show
No, they
Her
don't show her
justice.
personality.
right, and we need to show her personality. So I need to make sure we get that password.
Yeah. I gave Lee the password.
Please look up, sweetheart. I need to see your
No,
eyes.
I want to be able to look at you guys too. I can't look at you and look at the camera.
Well, you don't have to look at the camera. Look at me.
I'm looking at you.
Okay.
You're sitting very low.
I know.
Your head's about this much in the TV.
Okay. Do you think Zanny's acting by herself, or does she have help?
I don't know, Mom. I haven't been able to talk to anybody. I don't know. I'm hoping that if there's people involved, there's as many people that are dumb enough to open their mouths and say something as possible. But Mom, I have nothing to go off of at the moment. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Jose and I go over this every time we talk, and things that Lee told me today, I'm extremely aggravated about because I haven't gotten a single letter. Nothing that you've given him has gotten back to me.
I've only given him my letter. I don't think I've given him Annie's letter yet.
Well, I got 2 letters that were sent directly to the jail, but
Okay,
nothing
now-
that's been given to him has been
Well,
given to me.
Well, he can't hand anything to you. Did you read
He can
anything
at
in my
least-
writing?
I read the one little note, yes, but Lee said that he's written letters and
Okay.
he's written other stuff.
Okay, well, then the one little note that I wrote,
He
then
did
you
show
did
me.
get it. Okay, that's
Okay.
the only note that I've given. So don't
Well,
lose
according
total faith.
to Lee, I'm not losing faith. I'm just going to have a lot of questions for him when I see him hopefully
That's
later
fine.
today.
You want to have questions for him.
I have a lot of questions, and I'm going to ask you something that he told me. I guess there was a
Okay.
lady that came forward on the news. Her and her son were at the airport, said that they saw Caylee, spoke to Caylee.
Right, and she said her name was Caylee Marie Antony.
Do you have any more information on that?
Yes. But again, the sheriff's department's telling us they're fully investigating that.
Well, I want someone outside of the sheriff's department looking into these things. I mean, I want Lee to look into stuff. I want you guys to look into stuff. I want Jose to look into stuff. I don't
Well,
just want...
we're trying to request those videotapes from the Orlando airport.
Okay,
I was with Jose today when he requested that.
okay. Have you spoken to her yourself?
Oh, she contacted me. She calls
Okay.
me every day, 3-4 times a day.
Okay, good. Well, that's what I wanted to know. I don't want just one person running errands for me, someone that I have no contact with. And
Does
even
Charlotte sound like a potential place to look?
you can look in Charlotte. I know Zanny's had roots in North Carolina. I know
And
that she's
definitely Miami.
definitely Miami and New York.
Do you know is her mother's name Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez as well?
No, her mother's Gloria.
Is her mother, what age is her mother? She
Between
older?
yours and she's between your age and Dad's age, so she's
About
in her 50s.
55?
Roughly, yes.
Have you ever heard her sister's name? Not Zanny's sister, her mom's sister's name, Zanny's aunt's name.
No.
Is it possible that she could be staying with her Zanny's mom could be staying with Zanny's aunt in Miami?
It's a possibility. I don't know where exactly they are in Miami or who they're staying with, but it's a possibility.
Does
All I know is-
Josephina sound familiar to you? Josephina?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Oh man.
I'm gonna
Are they
let-
gonna? Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, honey. No, go ahead, ask.
I was just gonna ask if they were gonna let us have an extra, almost 15 minutes since we didn't get.
Probably not. We'll have to ask to start over. I don't know if they'll allow us or not.
Okay.
Oh, you
Are they?
sure? Okay, that's what he said. Okay. Okay. All right. Do you want to speak to your father now?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, gorgeous, how you doing?
I look like hell.
Well, you know something? You really need to keep your spirit high for all this.
I haven't been crying while I've been in here.
Well,
I've been
you know
trying
something?
to read books and do other things to keep my mind off of stuff.
Well, you know, I want to be able to reach out and hug you and give you the big Papa Joe hug. But you know, we got to get that little girl back any way we can, and we're
Dad,
doing everything we can.
My only concern. I gave Lee a statement. I want him to speak to whoever in the media, give them a statement specifically from me. He's going to give them an exact quote. She's my only concern. Next to Caylee, it's you guys. That's my only concern.
Can I ask you something? Is there any particular city that you took Caylee to at all? Any particular friends?
I haven't. No.
It's
Honestly,
been mostly just local.
It's been local. It's all been local. The last time I was in Jacksonville was in March. I haven't left the city.
Well, you know,
I'm sorry,
everyone is
also
doing.
going to Cocoa Beach one time back in maybe May. I know
Well,
everyone's looking. I'm
yeah,
getting updates from Jose or from an occasional officer in here will give me just a little bit of the media that they've stomached watching.
Well, have you had a chance to read a paper or see the news?
I'm staying away from the TVs. They don't even have the TV on in here for news purposes. I haven't seen the paper or anything like that.
Okay, Mom wants to talk to you in a second.
Oh, God.
Listen, I'm in front of the cameras all the time. What message do you want me to give to Zanny and to Caylee? What do you want me to tell Zanny?
That she needs to return Caylee.
What do you think her reasons are?
Mom, I don't know.
Okay.
I forgive her. My only concern is that Caylee comes back to us and she's smiling and she's happy and that she's okay.
Okay. What do you want me to tell Caylee?
That Mommy loves her very much. And she's the most important thing in this entire world to me. And to be brave.
Shh, hold on. Anything else?
Just that I love her. I truly, truly love that little girl and miss her so much. God, and I miss you guys.
I know, honey, we miss you too.
I know Lee's priority list, we went through things, and I know Caylee's at the top of everybody's priority list. I'm the last on mine right now.
I know you are. I know you're the last on your list.
I'll sit here as long as I have to. I don't
I
care.
know. Are you protecting Caylee? Are you protecting me? Are you protecting whom? I know you're protecting.
Lee and I have made an agreement. I'm going to start writing letters. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to write individual letters to each of you. Send them through the mail, through the jail mail.
I don't want to wait through the mail, darling.
I'm protecting our family, yes. Not from anything that I've done.
Someone threatening us. Someone threatening us.
Mom, just leave it at that, please.
Okay.
For right now, just leave it at that.
Okay. I trust you. But don't just know that you don't have to protect this family. This family is tough. We've been through a lot in the last week and a half.
Mom.
We're pretty darn strong. We almost lost it a few times, but we are stronger now than we've ever been. So don't try to protect Dad or me or Lee.
I know.
We have to protect Caylee. So don't protect us.
That's
we
all
have
I'm
to
worried
protect
about.
Caylee.
I know.
Well, then there's nothing to protect us for. Do you understand that?
I understand that, Mom.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
How come she never got a chance to get the car? Doesn't make sense.
Mom, because this is recorded, and I don't know who's going to see things, and who's going to misconstrue whatever else. Like I said, there's things that I directly need to say to each of you.
Okay.
That
I trust that.
Lee and I are finding other means to do. So.
Okay. Has someone else been in our house?
I don't know, Mom. Possibly. I told you a long time ago she had a key. God, I was going to ask you something too, and I don't remember.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. How's the rest of the family?
Grandma's not doing very well at all, Casey. She's not. And I can't talk to her because it's not good when I do talk to her. So she's not doing well at all. everybody sends their love. Everybody loves you. Everybody knows that you've done nothing to Caylee. You
Good.
understand that?
I know that. I'm just glad everybody else knows that.
Well, there's a lot of people out there, though, that doesn't believe that, darling.
Oh, I know. But again, I get that daily here.
Okay, well, hold on. Dad wants to talk to you,
Oh,
babe.
go ahead.
Casey, what can I do?
Just try to keep talking to the media, I guess. Keep things positive. Keep it focused on Caylee. That needs to be the main focus.
Is there anything else that you want to say directly to me at all?
Just that I wish that none of this would have ever happened. I really wish that none of this would have ever happened.
Well, we all feel that way, and I know we're all just given a lot right now, and we have to keep on being strong and knowing that we've got to bring you and we've got to bring Caylee home. And I mean, we know where you're at. I don't want to see you here. I don't want you here. But
Yeah, but in some ways, I almost feel more protected here than if I were on the outside.
well, I guess there's some truth in that. But you know, once we get that little girl home, which I hope is today, you know, that stuff with you, it's not going to be easy to get through. But at least we'll have you out also, and that's the
As long
focus
as we
here.
have Caylee home, everything else with me we'll deal with as we can. Lee made a good point. Getting Caylee home is our priority. Everything else will fall into place after that. And that's the truth.
Well, you got to know that Mom and I worry about you being here.
I know, but I'm under protective custody. I'm in my own cell. I'm right across. I mean, I'm literally within 4 steps from where their little station is in here. So I'm being watched at all times.
Okay, but when was the last time you talked to Mr. Baez, if I might ask?
Wednesday night. Today's Friday. Wednesday.
Okay. Have you ever thought about even just reaching out to the guys at the sheriff's department, just talking to them?
The few times that I have, Dad, you've seen what's blown up in my face. They've misconstrued things that I said to them. Resources that I gave them, they haven't used. So, in all honesty, as much as I'd like to, at the moment, if I'm going to, it won't be an in-person conversation. It won't be an over-the-phone conversation. It will be in writing. So there's no way of them twisting my words or saying that I didn't give them information.
Well, do you have access to a phone and stuff every day or not?
No, there needs to be money put, I guess, in an account for me so I can make calls that have to be collect calls.
Well, you know, you can call us. We'll accept the charge.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying I think there still has to be money in an account for me to be able to make any calls, from what I've been told. Tell
Okay,
Mom
so
to keep breathing.
So you need some money so you can make outside calls.
As far as I know, yes, you'll have to ask somebody more information on that.
Okay. Well, talk to Mom 1 second.
Is there any messages to anybody that you want me to give? Do you want me to tell Annie anything, Tony anything?
Tell Amy that I'm sorry.
Okay.
Tell Ryan I appreciate all of his help. If you could ask him to come if he gets a chance to come in town. I don't know if he's going to be able to.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, just tell the rest of the
What
family
about
that
Tony?
what the hell is there to say to him? I mean, it took a friend of mine that I haven't seen in at least 4 years, haven't talked to in maybe longer than that, someone from high school, to come and see me, and he hasn't made any effort, won't talk to Jose, you know, when I sent even a specific note. I mean, I would like to reach out to him to talk to him, but at the same time, my concern is you guys.
Okay. How about Jesse? He's been real close. Is there anything you want me to tell Jesse?
I would like Jesse to stay as far away from you guys as possible. I'm saying that wholeheartedly and as calmly as possible.
Okay.
I don't know how much I trust him right now, and I even told Lee that. Lee's gonna investigate a few people for me. I in my gut, I don't know if I can trust him.
Okay. Well, I've been thinking that all along, but I've told the deputies my feelings.
Jose and I had a couple conversations about that. We've talked about that multiple different times, actually.
Does he know Zanny?
To the best of my knowledge, no, but quite possibly.
Okay. Has Jesse ever watched Caylee in the last month or so while he was off work?
No.
Okay.
The last time he watched Caylee was at his parents' house when she was a baby. So that was 2006.
Okay. You know, his dad has been trying to reach out to your dad. His mom sent Lee an email and to tell us that they, as much as the differences that they had with you, they still know that you're a good mom and that, you know, they want Caylee back as well. So I want you to know that.
I appreciate that. I mean, coming from his family, yes, that means a lot. As far as Jesse as an individual, is very questionable for me.
Okay.
Very, very questionable. Things from his parents that I can,
Hey, I have a
guess
question.
honestly say I appreciate. Yes.
Your Tiffany ring, your little heart ring, where is it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it for a long time.
And who gave you that ring again? I forget.
Jeff.
Okay. We can't find Jeff.
Lee actually has more information on stuff like that. He said that he knows information about him, about Juliet, about other people.
Okay. Dee or Daisy or whatever her name is from Kodak called and said to tell you she loves you and she knows you're okay. She just called me. She'll be coming into town.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Are we Tom Frank or Tom Manley? Because
There's
they
a
had
Tom Frank and a Tom Manley. I've, again, information when I had spoken to people even directly at Universal.
Now, Frank is the one last email that you got that you showed me. Now, why did they put in the police report Manley?
Mom, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm just wondering. So
this is what I'm saying. Information specifics that I had given them.
Do you think I could get Mike's help?
Kozak?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I haven't spoken to Mike in quite a long time.
But he knew a lot of these people, didn't he?
He might have. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Have you guys heard from Earl at all?
No.
Meredith, my first manager? No.
No. I don't know how to get in touch with him either.
He had a MySpace. You might be able to find it on my friends list.
Do you know how?
Check MySpace.
I don't know your MySpace password.
Do you know the email for it?
Is it Casey L. Marie?
I'll spell it for you. Yeah. Kayseeoo Maree at cfl.rr.com. Password is the same as my Facebook account. It's Timer, TIMER 55.
Do you know who that, on your MySpace friend, who, God, what the heck's his name? Marky Mark?
Yeah, that's Mark Hawkins.
Oh.
That's Charlie Brown. That's Mark Hawkins.
Okay, well, it didn't look like Mark. That's why. Because someone thought that person looked familiar, one of the witnesses.
It's Mark.
Okay. He hasn't seen Caylee or has anything related
Mark's
to this.
On the West Coast, no.
Right.
Mark is one of those people that I trust.
Did you stop by and see his mom a week before all this happened?
We ran into each other at Target out at Waterford.
Do you think she could share anything with me?
I don't know what she'd be able to share. We talked just quickly in passing, and it was about Mark.
Okay, I just didn't know. I just thought maybe I could ask that, and that might be a yes or no question you could answer to me.
I don't think there's anything that anyone would
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Alrighty, so that was the end of that. Let me just see something. Hold on one sec. 1 second. I know that there is. Wait a second. There's is this the one? This is a jail call. Oh, July 16th. So this is the day that she was arrested. Okay, so let's see what this says. CA's Canton, let's see. CA Cindy and CMA is Casey. Casey. And then Casey says, Mom, hi, sweetie. Are you? And Casey says, well, I just saw your nice little cameo on TV. Cindy says, which one? Casey says, what do you mean, which one? Cindy says, which one? I did 4 different ones and I don't know. I haven't seen them all. I've only seen 1 or 2 so far. Casey says, you don't know what my involvement is in stuff? Cindy says, Casey. Casey says, Mom. Cindy says, what? Casey says, no. Cindy says, no. Cindy says, I don't know what your involvement is, sweetheart. You're not telling me where she's at. Casey says, because I don't blank know where she's at. Are you kidding me? Cindy says, Casey, don't waste your call to. Casey says, no. Cindy says, scream and holler at me. Casey says, waste my call? Sitting in, the jail in. Cindy says, whose fault is. Casey says, where funks are? Cindy says, well, whose fault is you're sitting in the jail? Are you blaming me that you're sitting in the jail? Casey says, not my fault. Cindy says, blame yourself for telling lies. What you mean is it's not your fault? What do you mean it's not your fault, sweetheart? If you had told them the truth and not lied about everything, they wouldn't. Casey says, do me a favor. Just tell me what Tony's number is. I don't want to talk to you right now. Forget it. Cindy says, I don't have his number. Casey says, well, get it from Lee, because I know Lee's at the house. I saw Mallory's car was out front. It was just on the news. They were just live outside the house. Cindy says, I know they were. Casey says, well. Cindy says, well. Casey says, can you get Tony's number for me so I can call him? Cindy says, I'm not talking to her. Now, L.A. who was L.A.? Lee, right? Yeah, that's her brother. Okay. So now Lee says, hey. Casey says, hey, can you give me Tony's number? Lee says, I can do that. I don't know what's real good. It's good to do you at this point. Casey says, well, I'd like to talk to him anyway. Lee says, okay. Casey says, because I called to talk to my mother, and it's a blank waste. Oh, by the way, I don't want any of you coming up here when I have my my first hearing for bond and everything else. Like, don't even blanking waste your times coming up here. Lee says, you know you're making it real tough for anybody to want to try to even assist you with giving you somebody's phone number. Casey says, see, that's just it. Every single thing. Lee says, you're not even letting me finish. Like, Casey says, well, that's because, Lee says, Casey says, just go ahead. Lee says, you're asking me for Tony's number so you can call him, and then you immediately want to start cussing towards me and saying, don't even worry about coming up here for all this stuff and trying to cut us out. What? Casey says, I'm not trying to cut anybody out. Lee says, I'm not going around and around with you. You know that. That's pretty pointless. I'm not going to go through, you're not going to put everybody else through the same stuff that you've been putting the police and everybody else through the last 24 hours, and the stuff you've been putting Mom through for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I'm done with that. So you can tell me what's going on. Christina would love to talk to you because she thinks that you will tell her what's going on. Frankly, we're going to find out something, whatever's going on. It's going to be found out. So why not do it now and save yourself? Casey says, there's nothing. Lee says, some issues. Casey says, to find out. There's absolutely nothing to find out. Not even when I told the detectives. Not even what I told the detectives. Lee says, well, you know everything that you're telling them is a lie. Casey says, I have no clue where Caylee is. If I knew where Caylee was, do you think any of this would be happening? No. Lee says, anyway, you've only got a couple of minutes of this, so I'm not going to let you clearly waste it. Here's Christina. She thinks she can get through to you. Casey says, no, I want Tony's number. I'm not talking to anybody else. Yes, this is Christina. Hello? Hi, this is Casey. I'm glad everybody's at my house. I'll have to call you later, or I'll have to call somebody to get your number. Do me a favor. Get my brother back because I need Tony's number. Christina. Okay, is there anything I can do for you? Casey. I'm sitting in jail. There's nothing anybody can do right now. Christina. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to be a... Casey. Oh, I know you are, honey. I absolutely know that you are, and I appreciate everything that you're trying to do, but I'd like to call Tony. He's not at my house, is he? Christina. No. Casey. Okay. Christina. No, it's just me and your parents and Lee. Casey. Okay. Well, can you do me a favor and get my brother back or get the number from him, please? Christina. Does Tony have anything to do with Caylee? Casey. No, nothing. Christina. Okay, so why do you want to talk to Tony? But you... Casey. Christina. You probably don't want to tell me, do you? Casey. Huh? Christina. You probably don't want to tell me, do you? Casey. What are you? Well, I didn't even hear what you said. Christina. I said, does Tony have anything to do with Caylee? Casey. No, Tony had nothing to do with Caylee. Christina. Oh, so why you want to talk to him? Casey. Because, Christina, you probably don't want to tell me. Casey. He's my boyfriend, and I want to actually try to sit and talk to him because I didn't get a chance to talk to him earlier because I got arrested on a blank whim today because they're blaming me for stuff that I never would do, that I didn't do. Christina. Okay, well, I'm on your side. You know that, right? Casey. Oh, sweetie, I know that. I just want to talk to Tony and get a little bit of Christina. But, Casey, of Christina. Casey, you have to tell me if you know anything about Caylee. Casey, sweetheart, Christina, if anything happens to Caylee, Casey, I'll die. You understand? I'll die if anything happens to Caylee. Oh, well, Christina, that baby. Caylee. Oh my gee, calling you guys a waste, a huge waste. Honey, I love you. You know I would not let anything happen to my daughter. If I knew where she was, this wouldn't be going on. Christina, well, how come everybody's saying you're lying? Caylee, because nobody's effing listening to anything that I'm saying. The media completely misconstrued everything that I said. The blank detectives told them blanking bullcrap. They got all of their information from me. Yet at the same time, they're twisting stuff. They're already said they're going to pin this on me if they don't find Caylee. They've already said that. Christina, well, do you... Caylee, they arrested me because they said that. Christina, yeah, because they said that person that you dropped Caylee with doesn't even exist. Caylee, because, oh, look, they can't find her in the Florida database. She's not just from Florida. If they would actually listen to anything that I would have said to them, they would have had their leads. Then they maybe could have tracked her down. They haven't listened to a blanking thing that I have said. Christina, and do you know that whoever has Caylee, nobody's going to get away with it. Nobody. Caylee, I know nobody's going to get away with it, but at the same time, the only way they're going to find Caylee is if they actually listen to what I'm saying. And I'm trying to help them, and they're not letting me help them. Christina, so how can I help them find her? The best thing you can do, baby, is listen to me. Caylee, they need to look up her information in a New York database, in a North Carolina database, other places that she's lived outside of Florida. That's what I told them. Even again today, I told them that 4 times today. I sat up at the police station, up at the county police station for 4... Christina, but she is the one who has Caylee, or she transferred Caylee to somebody else because... Caylee, honey, I haven't... Christina, no one has been... Caylee, talk to her. I don't know. I haven't talked to her. Christina, how come everybody's saying that you're not upset, that you're not crying, that you show no caring of where Caylee is at all? Caylee, because I'm not sitting here effing crying every 2 seconds, because I have to stay composed to talk to detectives, to make other phone calls, to do other things. I can't sit here and be crying every 2 seconds like I want to. I can't. Christina, okay. Caylee, don't yell at me. I'm on... Caylee, I'm... Christina, your side. I'm on your... Caylee, I know you're not. Christina, trust me. Caylee, I know you're on my side. I'm not trying to yell at you. Christina, nobody is saying anything bad about you. Your family is with you 100%. Caylee, no, they're not. Christina, yes. Caylee, that's BS, because I just watched the blanking news and I heard everything that my mom said. Nobody in my own family is on my side. Christina, yes, they are. Nobody has said... Caylee, they just want Caylee back. That's all they're worried about right now, is getting Caylee back. And you know what? That's all I care about right now. Christina, Caylee, your daughter... Caylee, but at the same time, I need their help. Christina, your flesh and blood, your baby girl. Caylee, Christina, please, put my brother back on the phone. I don't want to get into this with you right now. I love you, honey, and I'm glad that you're there. Thank you for your help. I will let you know if there is anything that you can do. Christina, you can't tell me anybody they can find Caylee? Nobody? Caylee, No, because every number that I've tried, every number that I've called is disconnected. Nothing. I can't get a hold of anybody. Christina, but that girl was the last person to have her? Casey, she was the last person to have her. That was the last time I saw Caylee. Christina, okay, Lee says he doesn't have Tony's phone number. Casey, yes, he does. He has Tony's phone number in his phone. He needs to stop effing lying. He just told me a second ago that he'd give me the number. Christina, so if I go and I get you Tony's number, are you going to finish talking to me? Casey, I will call you tomorrow. I want to talk to him real quick now, and I want to actually try to close my eyes. I haven't slept in 4 days. I have not slept in 4 days. Christina, listen, if you're going to talk to anybody, you can talk to me, and you know that. Casey, I know I can talk to you, but at the same time, I know I can talk to Tony, and that's who I want to talk to right now. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him since this morning, since all this stuff happened with trying to set up the MySpace. I made the MySpace and the Facebook. Christina, do you know the password to that MySpace? Casey, I made all of it. Christina, what's the password to that MySpace so that we can see if anybody has wrote in any leads of where Caylee might be? Casey, you can go online and see it. As far as the messages, I don't know if anybody's going to be messaging stuff. The password's blank. Christina, what is it? Casey, it says the password. Christina says something. This is all redacted. Let's see. They're talking about the password. Let's get it. Okay. Then Christina says, okay, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Lee. Okay, hold on a second for me. Christina. Okay, Tony's number. Casey. Yeah. Christina. You ready? Mm-hmm, Casey says. Christina gives her the number. I know that. Yes, says Casey. Christina says something redacted. Okay, that's all redacted about the number. Christina says, can Tony tell me anything? Casey says, baby, Tony doesn't know anything, and I haven't even talked to him since this morning. Christina, has Tony seen Caylee? Casey, Tony hasn't seen Caylee since the beginning of June. What was the number again? Casey, okay, thank you. I will find a way to call you back later. Leave your number at my house with my mom so I can get it, and I can call you later tonight. Christina, how can I get a hold of you? Casey, I'm at the jail. You can't. Christina, okay, do you have a way to write my phone number down? Casey, no, I have no way of writing it down. I have to remember Tony's number. I have to try to memorize his number right now. Christina, okay, Casey, so no, I will just leave your number with my mom and I will try to call you in the morning if I don't get a chance to call you tonight. Christina, so how can I find out the information about that girl? Casey, Christina, you said Florida or... Casey, have them look up a New York license for Zenaida Fernandez-Gonzalez. They've been looking on the last name Gonzalez or the first name Fernandez. If they looked up her entire name, they might actually find her. They haven't done that. They haven't listened to anything that I've said. Christina, how do you spell Zenaida? Casey, Z-E-N. Christina, Casey, A-I. Christina, A-I. Casey, D-A. Christina, Z-E-N-A-I-D-A. Fernandez? Casey, hyphen Gonzalez. How do you spell Gonzalez? Where does she live? Because they went and looked at her place. Casey, Christina, baby. You're not telling me anything that I don't already know. Again, I've only been in jail since, about 8:30 tonight. I was with them all day today. I know that I was with officers pretty much since 9 o'clock last night, up until today, like up until this evening when I came up here, Christina. But you're telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth because they'll find. Casey, that's it. I have no clue where my daughter is. Yeah, this is the truth. This is the absolute truth. Christina, they'll find out. And whoever has. Casey. Okay, Christina, I'm hanging up. I need to make this other call before I forget the number, so I will call you later. Christina. Okay. Casey. Bye. Okay. So, let's see. That's that. And where the heck? Hold on a minute. Let me get this down. Murder of crows. Did everybody hear that? I was audible. Please tell me. Hold on. Okay, I think that's where I'm going to end this tonight. There's still a lot more to go over. There's a lot more stuff, but I think we'll do the word cookies, and a lot of you have to go to sleep. I have to go to sleep too. Okay, good. Let's do some word cookies to cleanse our minds. Okay, thanks, Murder. Thanks, Murder. Okay. Okay. Bingo, bingo. Mooing. Very good. Booing. Very good. I tried boon. Mob. Good. Good night, Nora. See you tomorrow, I hope. One more and then we can go to bed. I tried boon. I tried goon. Bongo, probably. That was it. Thank you. See where we were here. See if we can get anything here. That. So at least we got one more here. Two more. Another one. Epic. Pixie. Pelt. Good. Just need one more. This is supposed to be hard. Pixel. Very good. We did it. Oh, two of the same words, three of the same words now. What do you have? Oboe. Okay. What do you have? Mono, I already have. Main, I don't think they do. One we can't. Oh, you have that. Okay. What else you got? Mean memo. Okay. Moonbeam. Very good. Tried Boone. Let me see. Oh, it must have been the other puzzle that I tried Boone and it didn't work. Oh my gosh. I get mixed up because it's... I think I did mono, didn't I? Oh, that was in the other puzzle. See? This is so crazy, isn't it? We had all those words in the other one, and I keep thinking, oh my gosh, that's crazy. We did it. We did another puzzle. Hi, beautiful Abuelita. How are you? How's it going? Thanks for giving a like. Uh-oh. I hear an alarm. Isn't that funny? I hear an alarm. Like one of those crazy ones. Hi, Matt. How are you? How's it going? Okay, what's that big one? Airmail? Airmail. So funny. I hear this like, honk, 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 honk. Oh, we got a special level. Oh my gosh, we haven't had one in a long time. F. F is going to be the word. Oh my goodness. I was looking for that familiar. What the heck is going on? Wow, it looked like it was so long and it was so easy. Isn't that crazy? It's okay, Twisted. Everybody learns. We did it. Okay, we really have to go to bed. Otherwise, I'm going to get caught up on this and get addicted and be like Scooter and keep playing for 6,000 hours. All right, I love you guys. God bless. Prayers. We'll see you later. Everybody be good. All right, we'll continue with more of this tomorrow. Love you guys. Have a good night or day. Thanks for hanging out.